Joan Willingham left the professionals to come and teach and coach at college. And on this day, if you have a need to stretch the facts a bit to make your point or refresh your memory, go ahead. There is forgiveness available. The sound of Fight On rings loudly and continuously throughout each Trojan home football game at the Los Angeles Coliseum. This series started here in 1926. 3 seasons missed during World War II. But somehow it seems a little louder when the Fighting Irish come to visit. This time around, 9-2 Southern California is ranked 6th. 10-1 Notre Dame is ranked 7th in the national polls. The first time both have been ranked in the top 10 since 1989, and the Coliseum is sold out. Hello again, everybody. We hope you've all had a festive Thanksgiving weekend and can spare about 3.5 hours with us tonight to enjoy what we think is going to be a real good college football game. Dan Punts, where do you start in assessing this one?
Well, you know me, Keith. I'm going to start with that quarterback you were talking about, Carson Palmer. In the last 6 games, the Trojans have averaged over 41 points a game because this man, Carson Palmer, is the hottest quarterback in the nation. He has all the tools. He can make all the throws. And his performance last week against the UCLA Bruins has vaulted him into serious Heisman contention. But his biggest accomplishment, Keith, has been leading USC back to the top in college football.
Tonight he goes against one of the better defenses in the country. Notre Dame ranked 5th in defense. And in fact, this defense won the first 2 ball games of the season.
Yeah, and I don't think the Irish have enough offense to get into a shootout with the Trojans. Their defense has been very opportunistic this year. And as they've done so many times, they must not only take the ball away, they have to put the ball in the end zone. This season, Notre Dame has returned a school record 4 interceptions for touchdowns. Problem is, Keith, this man, Carson Palmer, has not been picked off in his last 125 throws.
We have rain showers, thunderstorms in the immediate offing. I don't think that will help either one of these teams. But it is late autumn, and it is a game designed to test the mettle of young men. And he goes into this ball game having thrown for 11,090 yards. And a lot of people think he may right now be the best quarterback in the country. Let us go to the field with the threat of thunderstorm on the horizon and visit with Todd Harris.
All right, Keith and Dan, tonight's game will go a long way in solidifying the at-large bowl championship series spots available. A win tonight and Notre Dame should automatically qualify by virtue of moving into the top 6 of the BCS. However, the picture isn't so clear for USC. Win or lose tonight, they can still qualify for the Rose Bowl if, and that's a big if, UCLA knocks off Washington State next week. This could make for some interesting cheering in Pasadena as the USC fans cheer for the Bruins to beat the Cougars. Now remember this, if Washington State beats UCLA, the Trojans aren't out of the BCS hunt anyways. They could receive an at-large bid to either the Orange Bowl in Miami or the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. So potentially, with the Irish losing tonight, they could still be a more economically wise choice for the bowl promoters. So Keith and Dan, the USC Trojans win tonight, and it'll make for some very interesting newspaper reading in the coming weeks.
You chase almost anything long enough, you're going to find a dollar bill under it, aren't you?
I'm glad Todd squared that away for us. Good job, Todd.
Again, I want to refer to the possibility of a rather large thunderstorm striking the Coliseum area within the next hour or so, because it's been looming there for quite some time. We have had rain off and on for the last 24 hours, and we have had some thunderstorms that have dropped a lot of water. Pete Carroll, who came back from his job, he had 2 head jobs in professional football, but wound, instead of going looking for another pro job, he was asked if he'd like to coach at USC by Mike Garrett, and he jumped at it, and he, I think, has found himself a home. Tyrone Willingham, on the other hand, was firmly ensconced at Stanford in one of the better jobs in the country, had taken the Cardinals to the Rose Bowl. Everybody liked him down on the farm, but he couldn't stand not taking the risk, if you will, the challenge, perhaps is better, of going to the most pressure-packed college football job in the country at Notre Dame. The Irish won the toss. They deferred. Southern California will have the ball first. This being the 74th meeting, Notre Dame has a considerable lead over the Trojans in this series. The first game was 1926. It was played on the same turf, not the same grass, mind you, but nonetheless, the Southern California Trojans and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish have put on a very spirited series across the years. And some of the games are legendary.
And Keith, as the Irish take the field lineup for the kickoff, a number of the Trojans on the receiving team lined up at the wrong end of the field. You think they're jacked up just a little bit?
Probably cottonmouth, both teams, as they come out for this, because it's that kind of a game. Marcel Almond and Justin Fargas are the deep people. Fargas is the starting tailback, and Nicholas Setta, he's a junior out of Lockport, Illinois. Number 13 will kick it off. Justin Fargas is number 25 right there. He was the young man who went from Sherman Oaks High School here in Los Angeles, Notre Dame High School, and went to Michigan, suffered a bad injury, and eventuated back here to sit out a year and finally get to play as the starting tailback in the last half of the season for the Southern California Trojans. He is healthy, and he will lay a lick on you. So it's going to be fun to watch what happens. It's two good defensive football teams in this game. We've talked a lot about Notre Dame's defense. The Trojans ain't bad either. Here's the game, and as Knut Rockne said back in 1925, the game is on. It's Fargas. And he breaks one tackle to get an extra 7 yards and put Southern California at the 27-yard line for the first down. Writing the last pages of Carson Palmer's collegiate football career, well, he's a far better player today than he was a year ago. He scares his coach half to death when he fancies running the ball, but he's proven his toughness, he's proven his decision-making, and this is a very big ball game for him and those who believe he is a prime candidate for the Heisman Trophy. He says that is not his priority. Winning the game is. Sultan McCullough, in a little change of gears, opens at the deep back position. He is a speedster. Palmer's pass is away under pressure. The pass is completed to Alex Holmes, the tight end. And Holmes is up just about to the first down marker. In fact, he has a first down for USC. AT&T Wireless starting lineup for the Trojans, backs and receivers. This may be the best receiving corps that Notre Dame has faced this entire season. We told you Fargas is the hammer, but Sultan McCullough is behind him with great lightning speed. Offensive line, they've shuffled a lot of people around tonight. Graff is starting at center. Katnick can play if he's needed, but he is tender. McCullough remains in at the deep back. And that's Keary Colbert going in motion. McCullough gets the ball, goes around the left side, finds daylight, and may very well have another first down. He'll be very close to it as he slanted and was one man from breaking clean.
And you got to wonder if that hard hit on the kickoff might have injured Justin Fargas. But watch McCullough with the speed off the left side here get in behind Jacob Rogers and the tight end. Good pull job there by Eric Torres as McCullough picks up 9 yards, sets up a wonderful passing situation for Carson Palmer.
They're talking to Fargas about his left hand, it appeared. That was Kennedy Polo with him. The ball is thrown quickly outside on second down and 1 to Keary Colbert. And Colbert takes it to the other side of the field. And first down, Southern California at the Notre Dame 43. The Notre Dame defense, this side, has been the principal force for the Irish this season. Ryan Roberts, defensive end, has 8 sacks. Linebackers, Courtney Watson leads the team in tackles with 83. Gouldsby, 13 tackles for loss. That tells you they're across the line of scrimmage a lot. In the secondary, cornerback Shane Walton has 7 interceptions. Everybody but one has scored one way or the other back there. The team has 19 interceptions. So they've been busy too. Fargas now is in the game at tailback for USC. Carson Palmer back. Penalty flag before the snap. No play. Alex Holmes may have gotten off a little soon, the tight end. Chuck McFerrin, the referee.
Ball start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Trojans will give up 5 yards because of a break in concentration. Chuck McFerrin tonight is refereeing his final game. He's retiring.
And what we're seeing from Pete Carroll and the offense of Norm Chow is a lot of substitution early in this game. We're seeing 3 and 4 wide receivers. Balanced offense so far. 2 runs and 2 passes, but excellent field position on an opening drive for the Trojans.
There's the offensive coordinator, Norm Chow, upstairs. Pete Carroll is his own defensive coordinator. Palmer back after the penalty, throws to the outside. Ball is caught by Williams. Mike Williams gets into a pretty good headbutting match over there, and he's going to pick up about 6 yards before Vontez Duff can bring him down, and it's going to be Duff and Williams head up all night long.
Well, true freshman Mike Williams is just 3 yards shy. Now he's over 1,000 yards. He has battled leg problems of late, but has the strength and speed. You can see the toughness on that last play, and he could be a big difference maker today for the Trojans.
Fargas and Malafeou MacKenzie. MacKenzie in there now, a very good receiver. It's 2nd down and 8 for USC. Little quick pop to the outside. They're trying to get Kareem Kelly cranked up and moving, but they play him very well, and he's able to get very little after the catch. Preston Jackson made the tackle for the Irish, and it's going to be 3rd down and about 4.
And we're seeing all the room here between the receiver, Kareem Kelly, and the defensive back, Preston Jackson. So Notre Dame very leery to start this game. They saw how the Trojans came out last week against the Bruins when it was bombs away as the Trojans jumped out to a big lead in that one. They are trying to contain this passing game now.
They will nickel and dime you if you give it to them, though. It's 3rd down. Short 4, long 3, however you like it. Palmer back, gets the pass away. The ball is caught. It will not be a first down as Malafeou MacKenzie came out of the secondary, and coming up in a hurry was Shane Walton as MacKenzie came from the backfield to try to get himself in a one-on-one situation. His back was turned to Walton, and he had no chance to get away from him.
Walton lining up as the nickelback. Watch how quickly he reads this route and comes up and makes a solid textbook tackle. Head in front of the runner. MacKenzie can go nowhere but down.
And they're in to punt now. Tom Malone will punt it. He should hit it right around midfield, and it is Vontez Duff waiting back just inside the 10-yard line for it. High kick, spinning, and the Trojans coming down trying to kill it, and they do. The Irish are going to start at their own 2-yard line because Justin Wyatt came down, let the ball bounce, which is dangerous, but he put it down, and he put it down on the 1, not the 2. The Notre Dame quarterback is going to be standing on his own goal line when he takes his first snap in the ball game. Carlisle Holiday, though, has let patience become part of his persona at that position. His timing admirable because it goes well with the West Coast offense brought in by Coach Tyrone Willingham and his staff. So here we go with the first Irish offensive play of the ball game from the 1-yard line. First quarter, no score. First possession for the Irish. They run it with the fullback, and he rams his way out to about the 4. It's Tom Lipinski, all 245 pounds of him. AT&T Wireless starting lineup. Notre Dame backs and receivers. Sophomore Ryan Grant, Notre Dame's first 1,000-yard runner since Autry Denson in '98. 1,001 yards going into the game. The offensive front, you got some horses here. Jordan Black has started to tackle 4 seasons. Jeff Fain, highly regarded at center. Matter of fact, the whole group is pretty highly regarded these days. It is 2nd down and 7 from the 4-yard line. Grant has it this time. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage, and he is taken down in a hurry. A loss of a yard on the play. The Southern California defensive front is very good. Udeze has been a lightning thrust from defensive end, and Mike Patterson mixes it very well in the middle. They're both sophomores. Linebackers, these are the people that need a big night. Tackling will be a prime factor. Wrapping and stopping people at the end of a blitz is also considered very nice. The secondary, Polamalu, long proven quality and healthier. The target for Polamalu and everybody else, Battle. Arnez Battle. 3rd down. Out of the end zone, Holiday's ball is caught. It is caught by Omar Jenkins. Kind of a play that takes your breath away, but it is short of a first down as he's taken down just a little bit shy of the 10-yard line by Darrell Rideaux, that 5'8" cornerback.
Pete Carroll likes the pressure that the blitz gives on Holiday here. The ball thrown just a little bit behind Jenkins, and it's a good thing because watch Rideaux read it. 22 reads it. He was wanting to step in front of that slant route and pick it off. He did make a solid tackle.
The punt is out of the end zone by Joy Hillbold. Kareem Kelly is standing on his side of the field at about the 42-yard line. There's no pressure. The kick is short, and it goes sideways and goes out of bounds, and Southern California is going to possess it at about the Irish 46-yard line. ABC Sports presentation of college football. Justin Fargas and Malafeou MacKenzie line up now in the second in the deep back for Southern California. Fargas standing back at his own 47. The ball, however, is snapped from the Notre Dame 44. Ball is in the hands of Carson Palmer. Down the middle, pass complete. Complete to Mike Williams. And Williams will have a first down for Southern California at the Irish 20. Mike Goldsby, the middle linebacker, was trying to cover Williams, and that ain't going to work.
Palmer off to a great start, 6 for 6 now, and the first time he goes down the field, it's off play-action passing. Good fake to Fargas, great protection, and then the fastball right over the middle as the linebackers had to come up on the play-action fake. That opens the gap right in front of Palmer, and it's a big play for the Trojans, who are close to the red zone.
At the 21-yard line, it's Mark Kareem Kelly is the wide man, top of your picture. Man in motion is Grant Mattos, a big possession receiver. They run the ball with Justin Fargas, and he goes inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. Now let's spend a moment at Times Square Stadium with John Sitter. The BCS consider yoga's advice. Ain't over till it's over. Palmer back again. No pressure. Pass to the corner. It's off the hands of Mike Williams. Well, he didn't reach out for it. I don't know if it was catchable or not. From here, it's a long way, but Vontez Duff was beaten on that play.
Yeah, 3 weeks in a row now, Carson Palmer's put the ball in a very catchable spot for Mike Williams, but he has a leg problem. He has ankle and thigh bruise, and he just has not been able to make that catch. He had 2 opportunities, one against Arizona State, then last week against UCLA, and this third one against Notre Dame to make a big play, but did not stretch out enough to get it.
Third down and a long 7. Irish crowd the line of scrimmage. Palmer changes his play. Better hurry up. Clock kicking down, and that got him. Either call time or else burn the clock. It is time.
Yeah, I think Malafeou MacKenzie called timeout.
So they realized where they were on the clock, and rather than give up 5 yards in this position, they spend a timeout. No score.
It'll be third down and 17 from the 18-yard line. You can see the numbers for Carson Palmer once he get into the red zone. Only 10 yards per completion, but 18 touchdowns. In fact, SC has scored 17 touchdowns the last 19 times in this area.
The pass down the middle hits the defender in the back, and it is incomplete. Jerome Sapp was defending Grant Mattos. Mattos is 6'3", 220-odd pounds, and they thought they could force it in the middle to him, but the defender was between the quarterback and the receiver, and Palmer hit him right between the numbers.
Good play by Jerome Sapp, who's playing with a sore knee, was out the last couple of weeks, but he read that route and just stuffed Mattos.
It is a 36-yard field goal try for Ryan Killeen. It is Tom Malone holding. Snap good, kick, low, missed it. Almost whiffed it. And so the Fighting Irish hold in Southern California with the first real threat of the ball game comes up empty, and that's a lift probably for the Irish offense.
Let's take a look at the hold by Tom Malone, a true freshman. Snap is by Matt Hayward. That's a good hold. He just got too much dirt. That's what you call your chili dip right there.
Looked like the toe caught the turf and couldn't pull it around. Couldn't get it in the air. So let's see if that picks up the Irish offense as they now all of a sudden have some daylight behind them. First down at the 20-yard line. And Carlisle Holiday sets them up. Hands the ball to Grant. Grant over the right side. This time finds a little bit of room and picks up a good 4 yards on the carry. Next Saturday, you got a triple header in college football here on ABC Sports. Every game with some meaning. 1 o'clock, Virginia Tech and Miami, presented by AT&T. Then at 4:30 Eastern, you've got Washington State, UCLA, Rose Bowl overtones there. BCS pops back into it with the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. That's all next Saturday on ABC. Oklahoma, Colorado playing for the Big 12 title. Oklahoma losing today. Colorado won big yesterday. And Holiday keeps the ball. Very active, very mobile quarterback. Gets the pass away under pressure. Caught by Omar Jenkins. Big play for Jenkins. First down, Notre Dame, their own 42-yard line.
That's why Carlisle Holiday is so important to this Irish offense. He can ad-lib. This is a total improvisation by Holiday. After the fake, watch how cool he is here. Jenkins goes by. Now, he's not the primary receiver, but when you got two guys dragging you down, one of them's Grotegood, you just look for anybody. Nice catch by Jenkins, and big play for the Irish.
Rima McKnight checks in. He is a freshman wideout, number 5, top of the picture. First down Irish, 42-yard line. Run the ball with Grant. Grant takes a pop from number 51 for Southern California, Melvin Simmons.
Keith, that short run by Notre Dame is what they've got to do today. Got to get that ugly 4 and be satisfied with it. Score any way they can against this high-scoring SC offense. Defense, offense, special teams, and then keep the faith. Nobody believes the Irish can beat the Trojans this evening, except perhaps themselves.
Second down and 7. Tailback is really deep. He has a lot of room to look for where he wants to go before he goes. And Holiday keeps it, looks and has a lot of time. Now gets some heat. But again, he's very agile. He's very dangerous. He can run the ball with the best of them. And he's finally taken down at the Southern California 26-yard line. Arnaz battled through the big block for him that got him down the sideline.
And Keith, this play is good enough to be our Dodge defensive playbook because Troy Polamalu was coming on a safety blitz. He is picked up initially by the tailback, Ryan Grant. Watch Polamalu come from this side. The fake, the block right there, and then you just... There's nothing much you can say about the athletic ability of a guy that makes a great tackler like Polamalu miss, as Holiday did that time.
29-yard pickup on the play, and now the Irish have a threat going from the Trojan 26 as Holiday throws the ball, and it is caught in the air. Arnaz Battle has it, come right to his body and wraps his arms on it. He was taken down by Marcel Amon on the 20.
Just to show you how strong Holiday's arm is, watch Omar Nazel right here get up in the air and deflect this ball. Nazel, 6'4". He deflects that ball, but it's strong enough and hard enough to carry all the way to Arnaz Battle.
Marcus Wilson comes in at tailback now for the Irish. They're down on the 20-yard line, second down and 4. Battle gives it to Wilson, and he has a greeting and is flipped backwards after a solid hit.
We talked about how Carson Palmer's been good at not throwing interceptions. Well, this is a new school record at a school with some great history at the quarterback position, but no interceptions in his last 121 attempts. Now, if he throws one now, it's not because I jinxed him. It's just a fact. He just set a school record.
Now you have a third tailback in the ball game. Rashawn Powers-Neal lines up at the deep spot. Holiday throws the ball to the end zone. It is incomplete. Overthrown. Pass intended for Gary Godsey, the big tight end. 6'6" of him, but he had double coverage, and the ball was beyond the reach of everybody.
And that was a curious call by Bill Dietrich, offensive coordinator, to go with the play-action pass. Godsey to the corner is going to be double covered as the cornerback, Darrell Rideaux, sees him, as does the weak safety, DeShaun Hill.
So the Irish will settle for a field goal try. The ball is going to be kicked from the 24-yard line. It'll be a 34-yard try for Nicholas Seta. In the air, looks good, is good. And the Irish go to the lead on the field goal from 34 yards. 3-0 with 4:10 to go in the first quarter. And so far, the rain is staying away. And that is good news.
On the opening kickoff of the evening.
Dangerous to have your starting tailback returning kicks.
Dangerous to have a freshman return kicks too.
Yes, it is. But Dennis got great speed, and they kick it right at him. And he takes it on the 6. And here he comes. And penalty flags all over the place. The ball comes out. The Irish dive, and I think they've got it. They do. Dennis goes down in a pile. The ball comes spurting out. And Notre Dame recovers it. Patrick Ryan looks to be the man on the ball.
And Keith, he really wasn't even hit. He fumbled just before he hit the ground. The ball hit a knee of one of the Irish tacklers, and Dennis coughs it up. He's trying to get in behind the wedge behind Marcel Almond. Watch the ball in the right hand there. It's going to hit the knee of number 46 of the Irish. That is Corey Mays, a linebacker, and a huge turnover for Pete Carroll's Trojans. That's why you don't want a freshman, an 18-year-old, a guy that was playing high school football last year, returning kickoffs in a game like this.
The ball is on the Southern California 21 as the Trojans turn it over, and Notre Dame trying to cash it in. They got double wide at the top of the screen. Holiday stands up, and he looks that way, and he throws that way, and it is wild and beyond all. Arnez Battle was over there. Marcel Almond covering.
31 takeaways now for Tyrone Willingham's football team. On special teams, defense, they've just been outstanding. And as you said, Keith, they carried this team early in the year. But now with the maturity of Holiday and how well he's playing and leading his team, it's going to be a tough team to beat
Those
tonight.
30 takeaways coming into this ball game had set up 102 points. That's a lot.
That's paying it off.
Buchanan now has moved over at a corner to get a little more height in there. And Rideaux has come out. They run the ball. Ball coming down to the left side, and it's a pretty good gain by Ryan Grant, who now comes back into the game for that snap after 2 other tailbacks had been in there. And he gets it somewhere near the 15-yard line. They've got to go down to the 11 to get their first down. Notre Dame feels good about running against guys like Grotegood, who's only 205 pounds, and Melvin Simmons, another linebacker, 215. This is a big offensive line. Grotegood is the leading tackler for SC, but again, he is undersized for a linebacker. Mike Pollard had to come from the middle to make that tackle. 3rd down and 4. Grant's the deep back. You got 3 wideouts at the top of your picture. And the ball's going to go there. And it is a penalty flag right about where they caught the ball. The pass was completed to Maurice Stovall, but it's a couple of yards short of the first down. Penalty is against Notre Dame. Now they can refuse that penalty and put him into a 4th down situation.
Illegal formation.
It's only a 5-yard penalty. And I think if Southern California gets out of this, Dan, with only a field goal scored against them, they have won the skirmish.
Absolutely, Keith. This is an easy decision for SC to make. Here comes the field goal team. SC has not capitalized on good field position when they've had the ball on offense, and they dodged a major cannonball with the Dennis fumble.
So the ball will be put down at the 22-yard line, a 32-yard field goal try by Nicholas Seta. He's 1 for 1 as they lead 3-0. And this one is also good. It is 6-0 Notre Dame at 3 minutes and 46 seconds to play in the first quarter as the Irish cash in a turnover by Southern California. Here are your BCS standings coming into the weekend of play. Miami won big today. Ohio State is finished for the season. Georgia won today. Oklahoma, on the other hand, got beat. Southern California is 6 and Notre Dame 7. And obviously one of these teams will profit from the outcome of this game tonight and move up, especially since Oklahoma lost. Justin Fargas is back into the ball game now, and he will go back there as a kick returner along with Marcel Almond.
I love it when one of those teams loses off that BCS thing. Get out my magic marker and white it out.
You don't either. You go out in the backyard, sit on a stump, light a cigar, and laugh.
If I had one now, I'd be chuckling.
Ball is on the 35-yard line as Seta kicks it off. Irish leading 6-0. Could have been more. That's a low spinning kick that is going to go out of bounds, and it'll bring it up to the 35-yard line for USC. Tomorrow on the practice, Lindsay must decide if she will take on a case and defend a racist.
Play by Justin Fargas. Very tempted to pick that ball up, but he let it go out of bounds, and that gives SC a real good field position, but they have to do something with it. They have had the ball all the way down to the Irish 37 and the 18-yard line on their first two drives and have come away empty.
Kareem Kelly comes down to the bottom of the picture now. He will be the wideout on this side of the field. Keary Colbert coming to join him. And Carson Palmer rolls it out, gets the pass away. Pass is completed to Malafeou MacKenzie out of the backfield. And MacKenzie made the catch up around the 43-yard line.
Keith, for the Trojans to be successful tonight, follow the leader. That leader obviously is Carson Palmer. Then on defense, play the trifecta. 3 Battles, 4 Grant, 7 Holiday. And speaking of Holiday, they cannot afford to let that young man beat him. But Holiday right now with 1 rush for 29 yards and has hit 3 of 6 passes for another 31.
Ball just short of the 43-yard line. 2nd down and 2 for USC. Fargas has the first down. Penalty flag goes down. And let's see about that. It was thrown by the linesman across the way. The field judge, I guess he is.
And it was thrown. He was looking right into where Fargas was running, and you would suspect it might be holding against the Trojans.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot.
A second now for Todd Harris.
All right, quickly, Keith. Justin Fargas now sporting a neoprene sleeve on his left elbow. What happened in the opening kickoff? He took a helmet on the funny bone. He wasn't laughing when they were working out, but the training staff says he is okay. And an injury Notre Dame's going to want to watch, the throwing hand of Carlisle Holiday. It doesn't sound major, but it does hurt. He has bent up his thumbnail on his throwing hand. It is bleeding, and they're just going to have to tape it down. He's going to have to go.
Oh, my.
That's very painful, obviously, and it's going to be painful every time he does what he's doing right now. He's just gripping that ball.
Taking the snap's going to...
Everything. That's a torturous injury.
After the penalty, 2nd down and 12 for USC. Palmer back, time to throw, gets it off down the middle. Pass caught by the tight end, Alex Holmes. Alex Holmes will have a first down out at the 49-yard line. Second catch of the night for Holmes.
Yeah, and it's this type of play by Palmer that has the pro scouts drooling. Standing tough in the pocket. Here's Holmes right over the middle. But watch the shot that Palmer takes as the Irish, just out of a 4-man rush, get good pressure and knock the quarterback down. Marvelous catch by Holmes, not known as a great receiver, but shows athletic ability to grab at that high one.
That was Darrell Kimball that put the quarterback down on that play. First down for the Trojans. They'll run it. Not much for Fargas, but he does get it on the other side of the midfield stripe to the 48. Picked up 3 yards. 2nd down, 7 coming up. Time remaining first quarter, 1 minute and 48 seconds.
We're talking to Kent Pierre, defensive coordinator for the Irish. What is the biggest characteristic for your defense? He says, we play hard. I said, well, doesn't everybody play hard? He says, well, the way you can tell a team plays hard is when the ball is on the ground, what happens? Well, when this defense causes fumbles, this defense recovers them. 11 for 11 this season.
2nd and 7. Palmer's pass quickly to Kelly. Incomplete. Thrown hard. Hit hard. Number 19 came in there and popped him just about the time the ball arrived. And Glenn Earl is the one member of the defensive secondary that has not scored a touchdown this season.
And Keith, that may be a matchup that SC may want to revisit. Anytime you can get a safety out wide against one of your fleet receivers, such as Kareem Kelly, that's something that Palmer's going to be looking at and looking to go back to.
It is 3rd down and 7 on the incomplete pass. Mike Williams and Kareem Kelly are at the top of the picture. Carson Palmer wants to go to this side with it and throws to Keary Colbert. Colbert was really well covered, and the pass goes incomplete.
Getting a pretty good indication why this defense of Notre Dame is the 5th best in the entire country. They are taking SC's best shots. They're playing a lot of zone, keeping these receivers in front and shutting down the run of Fargas and McCullough.
Tom Malone in punt formation for USC.
Tom Malone will kick. Vontez Duff is the man waiting for it back at the 10-yard line. Last time he hit 39 yards. They killed it on the 1-yard line. This one's a little bit longer, and the Trojans have to hurry to get to it. It's taken underneath the and pursuing by Duff, and he's got a great turn on the corner. And Duff all the way down to the Southern California 44-yard line. I don't think the Trojan coming down, that one cover man, thought he was going to catch the ball because it had plenty of carry to go to the goal of the end zone, but Duff stepped under, took it on the dead run, and came back with a big return of 52 yards.
He gets away from Melvin Simmons, number 51 right there. Maybe he was expecting him to signal for the fair catch, but Duff has done this before for the Irish. Against Maryland, he went 76 yards for one of those touchdowns on special teams, and now he sets up the Irish in great field position.
At the Southern California 43, and the SC defense spending a lot of time on the field here in the first quarter with 58 seconds remaining. They give it inside to the big fullback Lipinski, and it's Mike McNair, not Lipinski. And McNair at 230, and Lipinski at 240, give or take a pound or two.
Keith, you got to wonder about the thumb of Carlisle Holiday. Remember, Todd told us he had his thumbnail bent back. Doesn't appear to have any tape on it. It would be difficult to put tape on your thumb because you would lose the feeling for throwing the ball with your thumb.
2nd down and 6. He's going to throw it. They run him toward the sidelines, and then he throws it out of bounds, incomplete, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 6. And let us spend a moment with John Saunders. I don't think the Tide needs any help in that matchup. Alabama a little angry after losing to Auburn last week, probably. 3rd down and 6. 4 wideouts. No pressure on Holiday. Loops it in the air. It's out of bounds, incomplete. As intended for Arnaz Battle. Justin Wyatt was covering that time. He's a freshman for USC, and he had good coverage.
He had excellent coverage. It's man-to-man on the outside because the Trojans brought a blitz that was picked up, but Wyatt covered the very quick and elusive Battle perfectly. But this ball is going to sail out of bounds. You've got to wonder about the grip that Holiday could put on the ball. He missed the field by 2 yards.
Hillbold with Carlson waiting, sure-handed Grieg Carlson. He angles it for the coffin corner, and he hits it. Ooh, that's pretty good stuff. That reminds me of the old days. The ball is drilled out of bounds at the 7-yard line, and after 1 quarter of play, Notre Dame leads it by a score of 6-0. ABC Sports presentation of college football will return after this message and a word from our ABC station. Southern California Trojans start at their own 7. And the ball is handed to Justin Fargas, and Fargas bolts to the 11 for 4 yards on the play.
Take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. You see a couple of Nick Seta field goals. One of them came off the Herschel Dennis fumble on the kickoff. The Trojans 0 for 3 on third down. They have been converting 38% of the time. And the last time SC did not score in the first quarter, you got to go all the way back to September 28th against the Oregon State Beavers.
2nd down and 6 coming up. Penalty flags.
Yeah, that's a flinch on that offensive line.
False start by Southern California.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
That's a lack of concentration.
Yeah, and they're surprised. They're not used to not just marching up and down the field, putting points on the board. Right now, they are stunned. You can look in the eyes of the young offensive tackle there, Winston Justice, for the Trojans. Just turned 18 this year.
That's the 3rd flag on the Trojans for 20 yards in one play into the 2nd quarter. No penalties on the Irish. Palmer to throw it. Rolls it out of the end zone. Gets it away down to the sidelines. That ought to get a flag. No, it doesn't. The pass is complete. Mike Williams made the catch, and I mean the defender was all over him like last summer's umbrella.
That's Vontez. Duff, very physical corner. And this is a good sign for the Trojans and their fans to see Mike Williams lay out for a ball. Coverage couldn't be any better, nor could the throw.
Norm Katnick is now in there at center for USC. And that is a 1st down, putting the ball out at the 19-yard line. This possession started on their 7.
Katnick's playing with a sore left ankle.
Palmer keeping, comes back this way with it. Ball complete to Keary Colbert. And Colbert is out of bounds at the 29-yard line, and that's close to another 1st down. Shane Walton pushed him out.
So these are the big 3 for Carson Palmer, the big, the fast, and the steady. Mike Williams already has 3 catches on the evening. Kareem Kelly, and we just saw Keary Colbert there. When Palmer gets in trouble, he wisely looks up his favorite weapons.
Second down and the foot. Time to go big or get your 1st down. They go for the 1st down. Fargas, and he has it.
I don't think they had any chance of getting anything big there, Keith. Notre Dame is content to stay in a very deep, too deep coverage. And SC wisely keeps this drive alive with a 3rd down conversion.
Keeping everything in front of them.
They're not allowing SC to get off with the big momentum changer, the big bomb.
Ball on the 33-yard line for the 1st down. Outside, quickly to Williams. Up to the 40. Mike Williams is 6'5", 210, and he's dealing with Vontez Duff primarily at 5'11", 192, and once in a while Duff gets some help.
And again, the Trojans are throwing the ball. This is their 15th pass already, and we've just started the 2nd quarter. They've only run the ball 5 times.
Williams with 4 catches and 50 yards. 2nd down. Long 3. There's the 1st down and then some as Fargas turns it on. He's got great speed. He was a state sprint champion at Notre Dame High School. Eric Torres leading him down the field, getting him going, and he is a determined runner. That's Southern California's biggest play of the night, 47 yards.
They're going to blast off the left side. They've been attacking the left side or the right side defensively of Notre Dame. Behind Torres, pulling out there, number 66 there. But the 2 tacklers, splitting 3 tacklers. Longest run of the year for Justin Fargas. This is a great drive for SC. Remember, they started it backed up deep in their own end.
They're now at the Irish 13-yard line, 1st down. Fargas, the single back. Williams coming back toward the ball. Back to Fargas. And Justin is inside the 10 to the 8.
And on to Justin Fargas.
Keith, not only was Fargas's 47-yard run the longest for him personally, it was the longest against the Irish defense all year. They like something on the left side of their offense against this Notre Dame defense.
He got 6 yards on that play, and again, I'll go back to what I said last week. When you're getting 6 yards on first down, you ought to win a ball game.
No questions. Run or pass.
Second down. Palmer rolls it out, throws it back, and it is Jacob Rogers, tackle eligible. They had gone to the official and informed him that he was uncovered and therefore eligible, and they throw it back to Jacob, and he rumbles along. He's only 290 pounds, 6'6".
Yeah. This one will go back in the playbook. Here he is right here. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the tight end. So there's nobody out here. That makes Rogers an eligible receiver. Now, what he does with it afterwards, he could have got a better pass from his quarterback and got a better blocking from his line mates. Heck of a catch, though.
Yeah, great catch.
No blocking.
Third down and 3. Palmer going to the corner. He's wide open. Mike Williams, touchdown.
Some type of mix-up in the Irish pass defense. 2 men went after Colbert as he came from the outside into short motion, and nobody went after Mike Williams. Watch Colbert come in here, and these 2 men, Duff and Walton, just leave the big Mike Williams alone in the end zone.
Killeen for the extra point is good. And the Trojans go to the lead for the first time. 9 plays, they go 93 yards. And it's now 7-6 Southern California at 10:49 to go, first half. There's Battle waiting for Ryan Killeen's kick, which is high and goes at the 3 into the arms of Battle. Battle's looking for daylight outside, goes up to the 25-yard line, and he's cut down hard. Grant Mattos made the tackle. ABC Sports presentation of college football. Didn't know Kermit would come out on a cold night. First down from the 26, let's say. It's just over the 25. And Holiday turns, gives the ball to Powers Neal. And he's wrestled down maybe a little short of the line of scrimmage by Bernard Riley. Let's again visit with John Saunders to avoid going to the Sugar Bowl 8 and 5. Because they're going to go because they won the ACC championship.
Yeah. How does that work?
I don't know. Second down, let's say 10. And this is Holiday. And Holiday will be taken down after he picks up about 7 yards. Well, there's 6 conferences protected under the BCS umbrella. Their champions go.
Watch this defensive line for the Trojans. Watch the stunt, and watch how it opens up the gap in the middle as Udeze is pushed to the inside very smartly by Sean Milligan.
You can't give that man that much room.
Well, there's nobody in the backfield. He is the biggest weapon on this Irish football team.
Ryan Grant, who had 1,001 yards coming to the game tonight, is the beat man this time. And you got 3 wideouts. Grant gets it. And somebody grabbed him by the shirt tail after he picks up 1 yard. That'd be Mike Pollard. And they're going to be 4th down and at least 1 yard.
0 for 5 tonight on 3rd down for the Irish. Quickness of this defensive line. Mike Patterson getting penetration. That freed up Pollard to get in there to bring down the running back.
So they'll punt it with Kareem Kelly waiting just inside his 25-yard line. Hillbold, 3rd punt of the night, 34-31 on the first 2. Gets a little better action on this one, a high floating spinner. And it gives Kelly some room if he can find a crack over there, and he can't. As a good, sure, open field, solid tackle by Garen Bible for Notre Dame. 48 yards. 9-yard punt and 11-yard return.
.8:19 to go in the second quarter. USC on the strength of a 93-yard drive, leading it 7-6. Justin Fargas ripped off 47 yards on this run. Palmer, that's Williams' 12th touchdown reception of the year.
Trojans come out owning the football at their own 29-yard line. Fargas is the deep tailback, gets the ball, takes a quick step to the right, and gets maybe 3 yards on the play before he's turned upside down. Now it's time for the Aflac trivia question. This week's question is, which Notre Dame Heisman Trophy winner played high school football in California? I know that.
I do too, and I didn't even have to look it up.
I know him. Second down, let's say 8 now. He got 2 yards on that carry. He's the lone back now with 3 wideouts. Trojans leading 7-6. Palmer keeping the ball, gets the ball away to Williams, and he can't hang on to it. He had it right on number 1, but Duff punched it out.
Good pressure on the safety blitz by Jerome Sapp, and great tight coverage. Vontez Duff has been all over Mike Williams. We saw Williams win earlier, but this is all on Vontez Duff as Williams makes the grab. Now watch the rip out there by Vontez Duff with the left hand. And then the knee drop to the small of the back for good measure.
3rd and 8. Palmer going deep down the sidelines to Williams. He's got it. Duff misses him the first time, but comes back, gets a little help, and gets him the second time, and it's first down Southern California at the Notre Dame 25-yard line.
And it's a brilliant call by Norm Chow, offensive coordinator for the Trojans. Because Duff has been playing so tightly, they go with a double move to Williams. Down the field to the out, and then up the field. You see how Duff was guarding him very closely. Perfect throw by Palmer. And score 1 for Norm Chow, their excellent offensive coordinator.
Williams 6 catches 100 yards and a touchdown. 44 yards on that play. The ball is squarely on the 25. He's out to get a breather. Carson Palmer, the last time they were down here, got his 29th touchdown pass of the season, which ties the school record by Rob Johnson back in '93. Malafeou MacKenzie turns back inside. He wanted to go outside, but the Irish had smelled it out, and they had defensive people crowding him. Next Saturday, the Oklahoma Sooners and the Colorado Buffaloes. The Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. Saturday night, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC Sports, the class of college football. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com, keyword ABC Sports. Gary Barnett and his folks did a nice job putting things back together. Southern California dismantled the Buffaloes 4-3 early in the season, but they've come back. And Palmer's pass to the sidelines, thrown wide. Alex Holmes out there, and he was all by himself. There wasn't anybody within 10 yards of him. And Palmer missed him.
I'm not sure if Palmer's arm was hit or if he every once in a while, you are going to miss a wide open receiver. He doesn't do it very often.
Look how open he is.
He was open, but closing fast was the defender.
And it's 3rd down and 10 now. The Trojans get out here, and they've fiddled away 2 plays. Third and 10. Ball is thrown to the sideline, thrown hard and drilled into Keary Colbert. Colbert comes down with it, and it's first down, USC. And they're right about the Notre Dame 12-yard line. And they make it the 11.
And Keith, this type of throw is the measuring stick for any quarterback with hopes of playing on Sunday. How well do you throw the out route? Watch the coverage by Duff. It's good. The ball is better, and Colbert has got the first down for the Trojans. Good job of reaching out, catching the ball with his hands, keeping Duff from slapping it away.
That's 145 passes without interception now, and that's a new Southern California record. Ball just inside the 12 hash As the ball is handed to Justin Fargas, a penalty flag goes down. That field judge on the far side's got a dirty piece of laundry now. He's been throwing that thing all night. And he's throwing it because of false starts. We've had several of those in the ball game.
Still first down.
At the conclusion of today's game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet making a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Paul McDonald had a record of 143 passes without an interception that he set back in 1979, but Carson Palmer now owns that record as well.
And every other imaginable passing record.
Rewriting the book, isn't he? And you can see that Southern California's owned the second quarter. We've got 6:15 left to play in the second quarter. First down and 15. Loop it out there, get some people blocking in front of Justin Fargas, and Justin will get it back down about the original line of scrimmage. Glenn Earl gets the primary tackle.
That shows you a pretty good indication of just why this Notre Dame defense is so good. That screen was well set up by the Trojans, but as soon as Fargas caught the ball, there were 3 or 4 white shirts there to bring him down.
You were talking about the Notre Dame defense playing angry. The guys told me yesterday that Kent Baer, the defensive coordinator, is the only one that really does any yelling.
Yes, he does.
He is in their face in the practice session. Second down, call it 11. Palmer up, looking, throws, and that was thrown away. And there's a flag.
Now, if this is pass interference, it's a bad call because there's no way the receiver Colbert could have made this catch, but it might be holding.
Well, if it's holding, it's one thing. That's right. Preston Jackson was over there with Keary Colbert.
Because Palmer saw how close Jackson was. He just threw it 10 yards out of the field of play. And that should be the argument for Notre Dame. Was this ball catchable?
Pass interference on the defense.
That's a terrible call.
In spite of the foul.
I can see calling holding, and that may be the intent of it, but you can't call it pass interference, I don't think.
No, Jackson is 15, and Colbert's 83. There's the bump right there, but watch where the ball goes.
Yep.
It's so far out of bounds, the guys on the sidelines can't make the catch. That ball is 10 yards out of play.
Well,
and as the luck of the Irish would have it, that's their first penalty of the night. A bad one.
And it's first down, Southern California at the 5, just inside the 5-yard line. Chad Pearson now is in the backfield with Justin Fargas. Palmer keeps it, gonna run it. And he gets down to about the 1, where he takes it a bit of pummeling. Glenn Earl had his legs locked, and Jerome Sapp flattened his helmet.
Yeah, it looked like a quarterback draw the entire way for Palmer. Hits that third step, and it's coming forward. He's rushed 4 times this year for touchdowns. This time he gets beat up a yard shy.
So it'll be second down and goal from the 1. It's Fargas over the top. He's in there. Touchdown. And is there a flag?
Yep.
There's a flag.
Thrown immediately, so you would suspect again that this is a false start, or was Notre Dame lined up in the neutral zone?
I think somebody moved on the left-hand side.
Huge mistake for SC if so.
illegal formation on the offense.
The illegal formation.
Only 6 men on the line of scrimmage.
The tight end
5-yard penalty.
had moved
Still
off the
second
line
down.
of scrimmage, and that left him with 6. And that made it an illegal formation. The man who did it, freshman.
And Justin Fargas went airborne, kind of like Sam the Bam Cunningham used to do so many times, and so many great SC Trojans to get into the end zone. He won't be able to do that from the 6-yard line, though.
It is second down then and goal from the 6. He'll probably throw. No, give it back to Justin, and he gets it down to the 4.
And now they're forced to throw, Keith. That's a strange call with the firepower that SC has, especially with Malafeou MacKenzie, who has caught 5 touchdown passes out of the backfield for the Trojans this year.
I don't believe they're going to run down the pipe on Notre Dame. I've seen enough of them now. This is the first game we've had to do with them this year, and that's pretty good up the middle. I think their defense would be good. Mike Williams is the man at the bottom of your picture. Palmer goes into the end zone, and it is incomplete. Intended for Mike Williams. He threw that thing in there like a rocket.
And it came back like a rocket. Bounced off Williams' chest as Glenn Earl and Vontez Duff were double teaming number one. This is a dropped pass by Mike Williams. A heck of a throw by Palmer as he squeezes it in there, and it comes right back at him.
I think probably Earl got a piece of it too. Here's your field goal try by Ryan Killeen now. That's from 22 yards. Up, good. And so at 3:34 to go in the first half, Southern California now leads by a score of 10-6. As Southern California fritters away a chance to score the touchdown.
Wow. Sue-wee.
Ooh, pig suey. Ryan Killeen will kick it off.
I knew I could get that out of you.
Vontez Duff and Arnez Mattos all waiting for it. And Killeen nailed this one. He runs that thing all the way out of the end zone. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. Earlier we asked you the Aflac trivia question. Which Notre Dame Heisman Trophy winner played high school football in California? The answer is John Hewitt, 1964 Heisman Trophy winner. Went to Mater Dei High School, Santa Ana. They were good then, and they are still good.
And this quarterback, Carlisle Holiday, started out 3 for 3. He's missed his last 5. He's got to wonder about that right thumbnail, how much that's affecting his throwing.
It was bent back. It was bleeding. About half torn off, it sounded like. So here's Holiday. He's a fighter and a very good running quarterback. He rolls out the throw. Gets his pass away. It's intercepted. Intercepted by Darrell Rideaux. Rideaux still pounding down the sidelines. It's finally run out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Pass intended apparently for Omar Jenkins. But I think that sore thumb probably has got something to do with Carlisle Holiday's grip on the ball.
That and a bad read. Trying to get the ball to number 80. Watch Rideaux right here. Come off his man in his soft zone and pick off the pass. Holiday did not see number 22, but now he's going to see him in a big hurry as Rideaux will use that great speed of his to bring the ball all the way back to the 11-yard line.
So the Trojans catch a break here. And you've got Sultan McCullough coming in motion out of the tailback position to the left side as a wideout. And Carson Palmer, with nobody behind him, is going to throw it. Now he whistles one. It's intercepted in the end zone. Threw the ball right to Mike Goolsby. And Goolsby comes out to the 17-yard line. That was a bad pass by Carson Palmer.
And it's from two quarterbacks that haven't thrown interceptions in a long, long time. Both of them had great streaks going into the game.
Could have walked in.
Watch Palmer.
Look at the room he's got.
He's got exact same type of play against UCLA last week when he decided to run, ran, and got knocked down at the 1-yard line. This time he reverts to his old form and tries to force the ball late over the middle where Goolsby is there for the easy pick.
Grandma could have caught that one.
Oh, yeah, come on. Not my grandma.
Ball's on the 18-yard line. And first down for the Irish. Holiday pens the ball off to Grant. And Grant's taken down at the 20 by Troy Polamalu. Polamalu's name hasn't been called a whole lot yet tonight.
But it's been a pretty good defensive effort, especially in the second quarter for the Trojans. They have yet to allow a first down to the Irish, and they have only allowed 11 yards in the entire quarter.
Second down and 8. Holiday's got it, going down the sidelines with it. That could be picked. It is picked on the ricochet by DeShaun Hill. Rideaux's the first man to get a piece of it for the Trojans, and Hill caught it on the rebound off of Rideaux, and the Trojans get the ball back.
Rideaux got his second pick of the year. That is Hill's second pick of the year. And again, it's a forced job down the sideline by Holiday. He had thrown 127 consecutive passes without an interception. His last 2 have been picked off. Watch the effort by Hill after he makes the catch to stay on his feet and try to scratch out a few extra yards. His knees never reach the ground, and he picks up about 4 more.
So it's 1st and 10 USC. The ball is on the 36-yard line with Sultan McCullough, the tailback. Palmer gives, nope, keep, no, he did too. He is so far behind the line of scrimmage. By the time he got anywhere near the line of scrimmage, Notre Dame had penetrated at least a couple of yards. Now again, let's visit with John Saunders. Well, Ricks had that flat spot, and McPherson got it, but there are those who still say Ricks is the better quarterback. That ball's thrown backwards, but it's caught by Sultan McCullough. He can't get past that first man. That first man is Shane Walton, and I'll tell you what, he's like running out of a spider web when old Shane gets in front of you, and he just laid him on the ground. It'll be 2nd down.
Timeout. Notre Dame, they're first of the half.
And 2nd down, 3rd down, and 9 as Notre Dame calls a timeout with 1 minute and 24 seconds to go in the first half. 10-6. Defense on the field. Mike Williams has been the big gun so far offensively in the air for USC, and Justin Fargas on the ground. Palmer on 3rd and long, swarmed on. I mean, they eat him up. And down he goes. First man to get there was Ryan Roberts with help from Darrell Campbell. And it's 4th down and big time. And another timeout called by Notre Dame.
And smartly called by Notre Dame because they'll get the ball back with pretty good field position. Number 60 is Campbell. He goes right by Eric Torres to pick up the sack, and that's his 5th of the year. Big play for the Irish defense.
1 minute and 15 seconds to play in the first half. USC has been down in what is considered the red zone 3 times. They've got a field goal, a missed field goal, and an interception.
Our Pacific Life game summary is all about interceptions, Keith. After 127 throws without one, Carlisle Holiday throws one there to Rideaux, and then Carson Palmer, who's thrown 147, wasn't picked off by Goolsby. DeShaun Hill gets the back-to-back-to-back passes, all 3 intercepted.
This worm has turned, hasn't it?
Yeah.
4th down and 19. And Tom Malone is standing at his own 13. He hit it around the 16. Leslie Hurd, and block it. It goes into the end zone, and Notre Dame's covered it for a touchdown. Carlos Pierre Antoine blocked it, covered it. I don't know who blocked it.
He did, Keith.
He did. Same guy.
CPA. Carlos Pierre Antoine got the block right up the middle, took the ball right off the foot of the true freshman Tom Malone, and then scrambled after the ball and jumped on it for an Irish score.
So the Trojans get sloppy in the closing minutes of the first half. Special teams breaks down on them. Palmer throws an interception, and they seem to be off their game a bit. And Seta is in for the extra point try. And at 1:07 to go in the first half, the Irish regain the lead, regain the momentum.
Keith Buzz Preston, special teams coach for the Irish, told me they thought that they could attack right up the middle here. This is Carlos Pierre Antoine, and watch as he slithers through a small hole, is not even blocked, takes the ball down. The Irish try to pick it up with Carlos Campbell, but it's Carlos Pierre Antoine with the daily double.
There's a Trojan down there that almost got a piece of that, but the Irish covered it, and they lead 13-10.
Fans, check the video board for scores.
How many times this season has Tyrone Willingham seen his special teams come up with a big play and his defense come up with a big play and score points?
To re-emphasize what you're saying, 11 yards and no first downs in this quarter for Notre Dame. Yet they lead 13-10.
And their quarterback has thrown passes to the other team his last 2 throws and has missed his last 7 throws. And they lead 13-10.
Center will kick it off. It'll be Marcel Amon and Justin Fargas waiting for it. Good kick to the 1. Amon to the 25.
SC has 2 timeouts and a very potent offense, but an offense that had their quarterback sacked last time he went back to pass. So this momentum thing is swinging wildly here in the second quarter, isn't it? Yep.
Well, USC just seemed totally off their game that last possession. So let's see if losing the lead settles them a bit here. And they bow their neck. Don't have much time. 102. Palmer back, passes away. Pass caught by Mike Williams. Williams working in the secondary for a first down. He's up to the 38-yard line. Again, Williams is 6'5", 210. He's a freshman out of Tampa, Florida. He's a big guy. If he ever learns the game, he'll be pretty good. Palmer under pressure, gets it off. Pass is caught by Justin Fargas, who was waiting in the backfield and slipped out into the open, and he's close to a first down. He'll have 9 yards on the catch and run.
Palmer showing his strength as he stood strong in the pocket, stood long enough to get the ball to Fargas. They stopped the clock here to bring out the chains, or at least to take a look at it. But watch the pressure here. 77 is Grieg Carlson, and Fargas with a great effort trying to get that first down.
Well, this is a clever little thing by whoever said, how about a measurement? How far do we know we got to do? So it's as good as a timeout.
Yeah, and it's good coaching, because you have to, the officials have to give the measurement if it's asked for.
Trojans have their play in place already as Malafeou MacKenzie and Kareem Kelly come up. Look to the sidelines. They're both going out there as double wideout. Top of your picture as soon as we get the chain gang off the field.
Yeah, we get this guy out of the way. Hey, coach.
About a foot away from a first down.
Tyrone's telling him to wind that clock. He's helping him out with that measurement, wasn't he?
The Irish have scored 10 points off of USC's special team mistakes in this ball game. The Dennis fumble on the kickoff return and the blocked punt. .43 seconds remaining in the first half. And he winds it. And we're at 40. And Palmer gives it, and they run it. And Fargas getting the first down, stopping the clock down at the Irish 42. And that leaves us now with 33 seconds. So that took 10 seconds.
Yeah, but it was a good play because it picked up the first down, number one, which is important. But it also caught the Irish thinking pass, and Fargas has a nice big game.
Thrown short underneath again, and that's going to be another first down as Fargas goes to the 30-yard line, and 23 seconds. That took 10 seconds. So Justin Fargas, a big contributor here in this first half tonight as Notre Dame leads 13-10 on USC mistakes. But they count. Palmer's pass is incomplete. Williams never had a chance to come inside. He was trying to break to the middle against Duff. And all things considered, it was just as well he didn't catch it.
I'm not sure why Palmer didn't call a timeout after that last play. Wasted some precious seconds. He has 2 to work with now. Their field goal kicker, Killeen, is within his range. His long this year is 48 yards. So if they were just to line up and kick it now, it'd be about a 47-yarder.
They'd like to have about 10 more probably, and they're going to get one more play to do that. And then they're going to have to decide. He had a 48-yarder against Oregon. Ball is thrown underneath again, and again it's going to go for a first down to the 15-yard line, maybe the 14-yard line, and again it's Justin Fargas. So that stops your clock with 10 seconds to play. They've got 2 times out remaining.
And Fargas has just taken over for the Trojans as they call timeout here. And they'll have a shot at throwing the ball into the end zone here, Keith.
Looks like that's what they want to do, to go to the end zone one time and have just enough left for a field goal try. USC has 1 timeout remaining, and Palmer is going down under center. Not the shotgun. Keary, Colbert, the wide out at the top. Malafeou MacKenzie, and there's the penalty flag.
Boy, this is about 4 or 5 times in the first half they've jumped.
Yep.
Dead ball. Ball start on the offense.
Well,
5-yard penalty.
that's concentration most of the time, I think, isn't it?
Well, it seems like it's on that right side, and you hate to point a finger at a freshman, but Winston Justice is right there. You see the total yards just this quarter. Remember, Notre Dame is allowing just 270 yards per game to an opponent's offense.
13-10 is the score. Irish trying to protect it, going to the clubhouse. Kareem Kelly is the near man. Palmer back throwing. Passes away to the end zone. Touchdown. Mike Williams. It was forced. It was through the arms of Vontez Duff and into the waiting arms of Mike Williams. I don't know how that worked, because Duff's coverage wasn't bad.
No, it hasn't been bad all night, but Mike Williams, 8 catches, 132 yards, and 2 scores in the first half.
Killeen for the point. Snap was high, but the kick is good. And the Trojans go back to the lead, 17-13, 7 plays, 75 yards. They use a minute 2, and we've got 5 seconds remaining to play in the first half.
And Carson Palmer pays Pete Carroll back, and it also atones for his mistake last time down here with the interception. This is his 30th touchdown pass of the season, thrown just a little bit behind the receiver. Vontez Duff cannot believe he didn't get a hand on this ball. But when you're 6'5", you've got a lot of body to protect the ball with, and that's what Williams does.
Pete loved it. Who wouldn't, if you're coaching the team? My goodness. It looked like the Irish were going to go to the clubhouse way up. Now it's the Trojans who can carry the lead to the clubhouse, provided, of course, somebody doesn't return this one. Carson Palmer for 242 yards, 2 touchdowns in the first half, and Justin Fargas had a big half himself.
And a big hand in that last drive. What an impressive drive with time running down. And Keith, they still have a timeout to use.
They pop it up, trying to get the ball bouncing around. They go for it, and they have it. Grant Mattos.
Trojans have recovered the kickoff.
A little pop-up just over the first line for the Irish. Trojans had 5 people going for the ball, and they came away with it. And so, with 3 ticks remaining, they get 1 more play at least.
This is one of those plays you practice every week during the season for just this occasion, to give your team 1 more chance to put points on the board at the end of the first half. Kennedy Pola, special teams coach, couldn't have asked for better execution of the short kickoff.
Ball is on the 36-yard line. You got one play unless there's a foul. You got 4 wideouts. Now you got to protect your quarterback, and the Irish are going to bleed to get to him. Now he lets it go. That's thrown out of the ballpark. That's over everybody's head and into the crowd. And no flags. The half is over. And an Irish player is down at the 40-yard line as the two teams head for the clubhouse.
Keith, we had penalty flags thrown after the ball was thrown out of the end zone, so it'll be a dead ball foul. Then it will be a foul against both teams.
That's Darrell Campbell, who's shaken up and down on the field for the Irish. And the officials now are talking to the coaches. That ball was thrown way beyond the end zone.
Mike Williams takes a shot at Shane Walton, and that'll get the flag right there. And I don't think that Walton will get a retaliatory flag. That will be all on Mike Williams.
Dead ball, personal foul, the offense. Dead ball, personal foul on the defense. Those penalties will cancel halftime.
We are at 17-13. Southern California leading Notre Dame at halftime and getting ready for the second half of play. Both teams have now returned to the field and preparing themselves for the second half. The stats in the Pacific Life game summary now with Dan.
Keith, it's pretty much domination for the offense for SC. All these numbers are huge. Then you get down here, and that's why we have a 4-point game for SC. Notre Dame in the first half scored on a 34-yard field goal from Nicholas Seta for their first 3 points of the evening. And then after a Herschel Dennis fumble on a kickoff return, Seta converts from 32 yards out. Check out the block punt from Carlos, Pierre, Antoine, and check out the touchdown by number 2 as Notre Dame gets 10 points off of turnovers and special teams.
Now let's join Todd Harris with this recorded interview with Coach Pete Carroll.
Coach, 2 turnovers and a block punt, and you're still in the lead. You got to feel good about that.
Yeah, well, those are the kinds of things that have been happening to us. You got to give credit to Notre Dame. They're doing a nice job there. But from right now on, it's our ball game to go get. Our guys are so hungry to get this done. I'm expecting a great second half effort.
Tyrone Willingham said this is the kind of game he expected. Can you say the same thing?
Yeah, I really thought it would be cose. I really didn't think we'd make a big mistake like the punt block. But other than that, this is a very good football game. I hope everybody's having a blast. I am.
Good luck, Coach.
He's always having a blast, isn't he?
Jack, didn't he? What do you think? USC has done everything in the world except score a lot of points in the first half.
Well, that's the way Notre Dame has won. That's why they're 10-1. They've been very good on defense and special teams. But SC, Carson Palmer's been fantastic. 20 out of 30, way over 200 yards. But Notre Dame has done that old bend, but don't break defense. It's going to be a great second half.
Well, you give him the ball. Now, he had the possibility of running the ball all the way down, maybe all the way to the end zone. He threw an interception.
Uncharacteristic for Carson Palmer to throw that interception, but he bounced back after that interception. A wonderful drive at the end of the first half using Justin Fargas running and receiving and then getting the touchdown pass to Mike Williams from 19 yards out. Great first half for Carson Palmer.
Carlisle Holiday, on the other hand, has that sore thumb in which we were told that the nail was almost torn off.
Well, he has yet to complete a pass since early in the game. He started out 3 for 3. You can see the 7 straight incompletions for Holiday and the 2 interceptions on back-to-back passes.
Justin Fargas has become a prime persona as well in this ball game. The Notre Dame running game has not been productive so far. A 4-point lead for Southern California, and we'll be right back.
Justin Fargas having an outstanding first half for SC. 81 yards on the ground. 47 of them came on this terrific run off the left side as he got the Trojans off and running in the first quarter. He has caught 4 passes for 41 yards and was especially big on that last drive at the end of the first half where SC went down to get the points to take the 4-point lead. And you can see where Fargas has been most effective. The left side here, 47 of that we just showed you. Fargas, the senior who came over from Michigan, sat out last year, worked hard on the scout team, and is living a dream tonight. How about the first half for Mike Williams, Keith? 8 catches, 132, a couple of touchdowns for an 18-year-old.
That last one was a dandy. I don't know how in the world he managed it, but he's such a big guy, and he's so strong, carrying 6'5", 210 pounds. And at 19 years of age, you know, you think you're bulletproof anyhow.
He's got the moves, too. That was a wonderful out-and-up route. And then there's that drill shot you talked about, Keith, to give the Trojans their 17 points.
The Orange Bowl folks are here in behalf of the BCS game to be played down there. Their primary interest, obviously, would be Notre Dame, because they don't anticipate that Southern California would be coming. And they have gone on record, matter of fact, to say that Notre Dame would be their preferred choice, but the Irish, it seems to me, would probably need to win here tonight. Southern California wins here tonight, and Washington State loses to UCLA. The Trojans will go to the Rose Bowl. That kick is well back into the end zone by Ryan Killeen. Arnez Battle puts a knee down, and the Fighting Irish will start their first possession of the second half at their own 20-yard line.
And what they basically have to do, Keith, just trailing by 4 points, is just go back to their original game plan, run the ball, try to get something going, be patient on offense. But the wild card in this whole thing is how well can this young man throw with that thumbnail injury.
The running game's been pretty quiet for the Irish. As we said, that's Battle going in motion. He's the point of that spear, the offensive spear for Notre Dame. That carry by Ryan Grant will go 3 yards on that play.
And 3 is the magic number for Notre Dame passing. Omar Jenkins, 2 catches, 25 yards. Arnez Battle, 1 catch, 6 yards, and that's it.
Kareem McKenzie, a young freshman, very talented, going to be a great player down the road, and it looks to me like. He's in the ball game right now. He's number 5. He had played some in the first half. It is second down and 6. Holiday's pass to the sideline is thrown over the head of Billy Palmer, the tight end, and a good 3-4 feet over his head. And again, it makes you wonder about whether or not Holiday can get a good grip on the ball.
He had Palmer wide open, and this ball just sails on him, so that perhaps is an indication that he can't grip the ball as tightly as he would like. Doesn't help any to get drilled in the back by Omar Nazel.
So it's 3rd and 6 now. Rideaux coming on a blitz, got right in his face, and the pass is incomplete. Rideaux put him on his seat. He came on a blitz, it opened up for him, and nobody touched him, and bingo. It'll be 4th down, and they have to punt.
He's the Trojans' leading tackler coming into the game. He's got 6 sacks on the season, and here he is, number 6, totally unblocked, putting pressure on the quarterback and forcing Holiday to throw the ball sooner than he would have liked. Good coverage outside by Polamalu.
And here's your punt from Joey Hillbowl. His 4th of the night. The last one was a 48-yarder. They could use a big one here. They don't get it. It's a wobbly thing that rolls around and is going to roll dead at about the 44-yard line on the SC side of the field. ABC Sports presentation of college Trojans now with their first possession of the second half as Palmer opens up, giving the ball to the tailback Fargas. He was caught behind the line of scrimmage. Good penetration by the defensive front of Notre Dame, and Fargas was able to fight his way back to the 45.
Let's check out where Carson Palmer's throwing the ball this evening. You can see that 25 of his 30 attempts are less than 15 yards, and he's doing pretty good down the field. That's 3 out of 5 for a lot more yardage.
Second down and 10 for USC. Palmer passes away down the middle. Pass is completed to Greg Mattos. Mattos on the run down the middle of the field, and the big guy goes all the way down to the 14-yard line. 6 and about 220-pound senior out of Mountain View, California. 41 yards on the play.
I think the Irish defense fell asleep. They were looking at Mike Williams, who cleared to the outside. Here's Williams. He's going to go down here, and Mattos right down the middle of the defense. Palmer finds him. This is just Mattos' third catch of the year.
Pretty good stiff arm, too.
He's a big, strong guy, as you said, Keith.
So it's first down, USC at the Irish 14-yard line, just starting the second half. Trojans leading 17-13. Fargas is the single back. That's Kareem Kelly coming across to join Keary Colbert. Give it to Fargas, and again, he's hit behind the line of scrimmage. So that was very good defensive penetration by the Irish number 50, Cedric Hilliard.
And it's good for the Irish to get Hilliard back in the lineup. He was out of the lineup with an injury, and they weren't quite sure how he would perform tonight. He's been solid in the middle of that Irish defense.
Lost a yard, second down, 11. Mattos lines up on the right side. Alex Holmes is right behind him. We've got two big guys on the right side of that offensive line. Carson Palmer back, throws it in a hurry. He gets it to Malafeou MacKenzie. MacKenzie, a running back, goes into the end zone. Touchdown. Malafeou MacKenzie plays a lot of fullback. Started out as a tailback. Now he's sort of an everything back. And given open field like that, he is poisoned.
And he beat a pretty good tackler, Courtney Watson. Watch MacKenzie come to the outside, but it's a move after the catch where he will freeze Watson, cut back, and get in the end zone.
The try for the point is good. Ryan Killeen, who's only a sophomore. And bingo on the first possession of the second half. Southern California makes it a 24-13 ball game. The big play was down the middle of the field with Grieg Mattos. 11-point lead for Southern California, and big old number 3 is very much involved in all of it. He just threw his 70th career touchdown pass. There are his numbers for the Knights. 2 yards shy of 300, and Killeen will kick it off. And circling at 2 yards, it is Vontez Duff. And he had one big return tonight, but this time the Trojans rope him in and take him down at about the 23. Next Saturday, you got a triple header. All of the games have considerable meaning. At 1 o'clock Eastern, Virginia Tech, Miami, presented by AT&T. Then at 4:30, you got Washington State, UCLA involved. That has something to do with the Rose Bowl. At 8 Eastern, Oklahoma and Colorado meet in the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. That has something to do with the BCS. And that's all next Saturday on ABC Sports. Irish, incidentally, will open the 2003 season at home against Washington State. First time they've ever met. Too bad they don't get a chance to see Jason Gesser. Carlisle Holiday gives to Ryan Grant, and the Trojans ride him down just about the line of scrimmage. Bernard Riley leading the tacklers. And an update now from John Saunders. Well, they're setting up a thumping, aren't they? 11 minutes to play in the third quarter now as the Irish come up on second down and about 10.5 yards. Holiday's pass thrown to the outside, caught by Jenkins, Omar Jenkins, battling. 2-minute Trojans, though, and he goes down at the neighborhood of the 29-30.
Best play in a long time for the Irish offense. After one quarter, when the Notre Dame led 6-0, things were pretty even. Since then, a total blowout. Only 2 first downs for Notre Dame tonight. They're 0 for 6 converting on third downs, and they've only gained 106 yards in total offense. That's why Tyrone Willingham told Todd Harris, we got to find some offense somewhere, somehow.
Put it on the 31-yard line and make it 3rd down and 2 for the Irish. Their conversion rate is not pronounced tonight. Holiday hands it. Fumble! Trojans may have it. Chuck McFerrin, the referee, comes right at it. It was Troy Polamalu that knocked it out of there, but it looked like now that McFerrin, the referee, was right on the play, and Chuck said Notre Dame recovered it.
But that'll bring a fourth down. Watch Polamalu just slice in here. Great anticipation, and then selling out with the dive right on the ball. And how SC doesn't recover this one. Just a great effort at the bottom of the pile for Notre Dame.
And you have a Notre Dame man injured on the play. It's Ryan Grant, the tailback. Ryan Grant is their 1,000-yard tailback. He came into the game with 1,001, and now he's starting to walk on his own.
Troy Polamalu is wrapping up his terrific career here at SC as a finalist for the Jim Thorpe Trophy as the nation's top defensive back. But his story is so much more than tackles and big hits like we just saw. He'll be remembered here as one of the all-time great people that have ever played for USC from 10 Mile, Oregon.
Fourth down, and Hillbold is in the punt. Oh, this is a beauty. A lot of air under this one. Drifting is Grieg Carlson. And Craig doesn't get a whole lot of help. Irish got to him in a hurry and take him down. It looked to me like the mark's going to be up around the 25-yard line. Well, we'll see. 51-yard punt and about a 4-yard return. 4-yard line for its second possession of the second half. And they lead it 24-13. Let's have a look at who's deep. It is Justin Fargas. You've got Williams. You've got Kelly. Palmer looks at Kelly. Goes for him. Way over his head. Incomplete. And let's spend a moment with Todd Harris.
Well, Keith, a lot like his staff, Tyrone Williams put together some very sure and steady coaches. Kent Baer, the defensive coordinator, spent that last off series with Glenn Earl and Jerome Sapp, the defensive backs, the safeties in particular. He says they're kind of getting sucked in, and a big concern for him, the play that you mentioned, was that big play that led to the score by Grant Mattos. So watch for them playing a little bit differently because they're afraid Carson Palmer may burn him up the middle again.
Yes, sir. Aren't you lucky it hadn't rained on you? The potential was certainly there. Palmer's pass thrown quickly down the middle of the field, and again it's Grant Mattos making the catch, and he's close to that first down marker.
Mike Goolsby with the tackle.
Middle linebacker made the tackle on him, Goolsby.
Last two possessions, Grant Mattos has doubled his production for the year. 4 catches now, and both of them, just as Todd Harris mentioned, right over the middle. So Carson Palmer, Norm Chow up top, finding a soft spot in the Irish defense and going to an unlikely receiver in Grant Mattos.
Those 2 first downs for Notre Dame came on their second drive of the ball game, and Carson Palmer now has gone past 300 yards for the game tonight. He's at 309, and he's leading by 11 points. Notre Dame bouncing around on defense. Palmer's flushed out, got to throw it, throws it away. Rule is if you're 5 yards outside the tackles, you can throw it anywhere you want. If there's pressure on you, you've got to throw the ball past the line of scrimmage, which he did. He met all the qualifications to throw the ball away.
And it looked like he had a little trouble with the snap. Maybe it came up a little bit late. Timing on that play all off.
2nd and 10.
Derek Graff back at center for SC.
Here's Keary Colbert, now back to Palmer, and Palmer now throws it down the middle, and he's wide open. It's Alex Holmes, the tight end, to midfield. Oh, Norm Chow went all the way to the shoebox to find that one.
And Carson Palmer had to find an outlet receiver because he wanted to go deep to Mike Williams down the middle of the field. But here's Holmes just finding a spot in the secondary after all this action. The handoff to MacKenzie, the flip back to Colbert, and now the flip back to Carson Palmer. He buys time, finds his tight end over the middle, and SC now has 20 first downs to 2 for Notre Dame.
The ball is right at midfield.
The old shoebox play.
He's pretty clever. Carson Palmer's pass thrown to the sidelines, and Williams is double covered, and here's a flag. Flag is right along the line of scrimmage area.
May have been an offensive lineman ineligible downfield on that play, Keith.
Yep.
Yeah, that's one of those plays where it's designed to be a quick screen to the wide receiver, but because the corner's up in press, that turns it into an adjustment down the sidelines. But somebody didn't tell the offensive lineman.
Ineligible downfield on a forward pass, 5-yard penalty. Replay second, first down.
That's Steve Sarkisian, who played at BYU. Norm Chow was on Lavelle Edwards' staff as the offensive coordinator at the time. So fundamentally, their two minds, I bet you, pretty much run the same track.
And Norm Chow has worked with Ty Detmer, winner of a Heisman Trophy, Steve Young, and Jim McMahon, Davey O'Brien winners.
First and 15 now for USC. The ball comes back to the 45-yard line, and a run it with Fargas. And the Irish jump him for a yard loss on the play. It's Courtney Watson coming there first.
Courtney Watson with the tackle.
Talking to Carson Palmer during the week, I asked him about all the Heisman hype. And he said this in his own quiet way.
Second and 15.
Of course, I'd be honored. It'd be an amazing thing to do, an amazing goal to accomplish. But I really don't know what my shots are. I don't know how it's all going to turn out. All I'm trying to do is just focus from game to game. And this week we have Notre Dame. If I go out and play well, I might have a shot at it. I might not. It depends. But regardless, I want to win no matter what.
Pass is away to the sideline. That pass is thrown well and caught by Keary Colbert. It's a little bit short of the first down, however, so it'll bring up third and short. He caught that ball right in front of Shane Walton.
Again, we get to see the strong arm of Palmer. Ball on a line 20 yards down the field, right into the breadbasket of Keary Colbert.
Give him 8 yards on the play, so it'll be third down and 4, and the crowd's hooting on the call, and I don't think the spot was very generous, frankly. But it's third down and 4 here for the Trojans. Heat's coming, passes away, and Kelly is going to get a flag. The flag was going to be thrown, I think, in charge to Walton. And now a little trash talking probably going on as Walton wanted to elbow him. I don't know who was doing all the talking, but they were elbow to elbow walking away. And I don't think they were inviting each other to breakfast.
I'm not sure what Shane Walton's got to say other than, well, I can't really say. But obviously pass interference there.
Pass interference on the defense. 15 yards from the previous spot. First down.
So that puts USC in a first down position inside the 30-yard line.
There's the bump before the ball got in. They're both Irish penalties this afternoon, rather this evening, have been pass interference penalties. Field judge right on top of things. Kareem Kelly has been held in check by the Irish and gets a little talking to from Shane Walton. Only one catch tonight for Kareem Kelly.
Ball is on the 28-yard line on the Notre Dame side of the field. 24-13. Trojans are leading. Palmer hands the ball to Fargas, and he pops free. Justin Fargas down to the 15-yard line. Legs are taken away by Glenn Earl. Otherwise, he's in for 6.
They're just wearing out this side of the line here. And it's a quick hole because watch the linebacker going to come out of position there. Goolsby on the blitz trying to make something happen for the Irish defense. Easy block for Jacob Rogers. Big gain for Justin Fargas.
First down on the 15. Fargas Oh, he slipped past that first man, got down to about the 10.
Got a good lead block from Malafeou MacKenzie, his fullback. And that allowed him to just stay behind him a long time, stretch it out, and squeeze out about 5 yards.
Malafeou's not easy. He's 225-pound fullback, so he knows something about button heads. He came back, got his 6th year, and he came back and played.
Really the key to this Norm Chow's offense, too. His ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. 6 touchdowns receptions for MacKenzie in his 6th year here at USC.
2nd down and 5 from the 10-yard line. Fargas. Nothing doing this time. Number 44 came flying across, Justin Tuck, and just laid him out. He's a sophomore from Kellyton, Alabama.
Take a look at Justin Fargas' rushing chart. You can see they've only tried the right side twice. The left side has been very, very good to Justin Fargas.
Sultan McCullough comes in now on 3rd down and 6. He's the deep back. Little swing out to him. He's the speed burner. He stops, though, looking for a place to run. And when you stop, normally they catch up quickly. And it'll be down just inside the 10-yard line. And here comes your field goal unit.
The speed and quickness of Courtney Watson from his middle linebacker spot forced McCullough to cut back to the inside where all the Irish were waiting for him.
It'll be a 27-yard try for Ryan Killeen. He made from 22, missed from 35 tonight. And this one has a lot of leg, a lot of height, and soars into the net. Good. And it's 27 to 13 now. Southern California by 14. Well, right now you find a lot of smiles in the Coliseum, habited by Trojan folk. But it could change quickly. 14-point lead for USC right now.
And this is where it could change quickly, is on special teams for Notre Dame, as we've seen already tonight.
They've produced 112 points this season off special teams and defense. Killeen hits it. Didn't get all the carry on it this time. It's taken at the 7-yard line by Battle. And Arnaz Battle is taken down at about the 21.
Since Notre Dame scored on the block punt by Carlos Pierre Antoine, SC has come back quite nicely. End of the first half, Mike Williams, 19-yard touchdown reception there. Start of the second half, Malafeou MacKenzie goes in from 15 yards out. Then we just saw Ryan Killeen's 27-yard field goal. 17 unanswered points for the Trojans.
The Irish come out now with Powers Neal at the tailback position. We saw that Ryan Grant was shaken up previously and has not returned. Here's Holiday, a little play action, now sets up and loops one down to the sidelines, and it's out of bounds, incomplete. Arnaz Battle was the intended receiver. Arnaz Battle came in and he was the man, but they have controlled him almost totally tonight.
He only has 1 catch for 6 yards. This is called offensive production, but it's also could be considered defensive domination by USC. You look at the 29 plays for Notre Dame, barely over 100 yards, and the time of possession doubled by the Trojans almost.
Second down and 10, changing his play. Going to run it. And the tailback, Powers Neal, he stumbled a little bit as he was given the ball and never got cranked up. And Melvin Simmons jumped him. 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. USC has not allowed a 100-yard rusher in this season. And where they're going, they're not going to do it tonight.
Notre Dame has not converted on third down this evening.
And they're looking at third down and 8 right now. And they go to the shotgun. Polamalu drops out. And you get penalty flags.
Big tight end, Gary Gotzi. I think he saw Polamalu take off. But the ball should have been snapped.
Ball starts on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
So it'll be third down and 13 now as they mark off 5. Polamalu, a very savvy guy, read something, and he was bailing out of there and going deep.
Well, you got to know where he is at all times. We've seen how effective he is coming on the blitz. He also this year has a couple of interceptions.
They got 3 of them at the top of the picture now, 3 wides. And Polamalu's pulled out again and going that way, looking down the middle. Here comes Carlisle Holiday in pursuit. Going to be dragged down behind. Whoa, way back. Inside the 5-yard line. Omar Nazel got a hold of him, and he couldn't shake him.
They're going to give him forward progress out to the 10-yard line, but that's a huge loss for the Irish as they needed some type of play from Holiday to pull this team out of their offensive funk.
Udeze and Nazel, boy, they're lightning at those defensive ends. They're really tough guys. And then here comes big old Patterson, number 99.
And they're all coming back next year.
And the Punter Hill Bowl now is well back in his end zone. No pressure on him as he gets it out and gets a pretty good kick. Drifting under it, Kareem Kelly at the 47. And can't get away. He's tracked down right about the 47-yard line. Tomorrow at 9, 8 Central, Sidney Bristow.
Who wrote that one, mixing it up with the bad boys?
Did not. And, you know, as long as the checks don't bounce, right? That's a pretty good show. You like that shoot 'em up?
Absolutely.
Yep. First down for the Trojans now as they go to work from the 47. Carson Palmer going down the sidelines for Colbert. Caught it in his hand. Good. He beat Jackson and Glenn Earl.
Keith, that's a brilliant throw by Palmer because he had to squeeze it in before Earl came over to help out Jackson. This is double coverage, but it's beaten by a fantastic throw by Palmer. A little bit of a half roll, and now the ball's on the line before number 19 Earl can get over to try to knock it out. And how about the strength of these hands? Keary, Colbert, ball never, ever bobbles at all.
No. 2 guys beating on him. He's holding it in his hand securely.
Holding it like a pineapple.
21-yard line. First down. He's become a very steady receiver. Here's Palmer rolling out. Wanted to throw it, now does. Throws it away because he had 2 Irish coming behind him trying to kill him, and he decided he'd get rid of it.
He got rid of it at the very last inch. 1 more inch and he's over the line of scrimmage.
After he made that run against UCLA last week at the Rose Bowl and went flying in the air about 12 feet and helicoptered, and it was some time before his coach had a deep breath. And I think the people have been talking to him this week about not getting too much involved in contact.
No question. Doesn't have a lot of experience behind him in Castle and Leinart, that's for sure.
That's a pretty good run up the middle by Justin Fargas as he started left, cut back to the right, dropped that shoulder, and powered his way inside the 15 down to the 14.
Yeah, that's really the key, Keith, because they have been having great success over their left side. So he started that way. Notre Dame slanted that way, and Fargas, with a good vision, cuts back over the middle, and he goes over 100 yards rushing.
He has 16 carries now for 103 yards.
And this is against the nation's 9th best defense against the run.
3:10 to go, third quarter. Irish with a 5-man front right now. Palmer turns, gives to Fargas, and Fargas battling for the first down, and it would not appear that he got it. He's a yard short of it. So you're looking at 4th.
No question as to what Pete Carroll wants. He wants more points. He's going to call out Killeen to get him 3 more.
He's 2 out of 3 tonight. Good from 22-27. His miss was from 35, and this one is from 29. Malone, the punter, holds it. Matt Hayward does the snapping. And everything worked. So at 2:15 to go in the third quarter, Southern California extends the lead to 30-13 over Notre Dame. Will kick off. The Irish will have Duff and Battle waiting for it.
(20) unanswered points now for USC since the punt block.
The defense is getting pretty testy right now. That's a good deep kick, 2 yards deep in the end zone. Duff coming with it. Found the hole over the left side, then stumbled a bit. And here's a penalty flag out of the hands of the referee. He was taken down at about the 21-yard line, and it's holding against Notre Dame.
With the tackle for USC.
Irish getting a little frustrated, maybe getting a little tired.
This may be on Garen Bible, who's a member of the wedge.
On the return, illegal block in the back. On the return team, half the distance to the goal. First down.
Whoa. That's a starching penalty because it's half the distance.
That's a bad penalty, too.
Yes, it is. More to the foul. That puts it all the way back to the 7-yard line. Well, we're going to play this thing for you on ESPN at 9. Football players. The Junction Boys. That's on ESPN December 14. That pass is completed to Maurice Stovall. And we're off to New York, and another update from John. Yeah, they're still alive, I guess. On 2nd down and 3. The defensive front for Southern California is just becoming a wall right now. Let's join Todd Harris.
All right, thank you, Keith. Number 42 roamed these grounds for a long time. Now, these guys were 3-1 against Notre Dame. The one time they lost against Joe Montana, he won the national title.
Joe who?
Let's talk about Troy Polamalu, number 43. Your assessment of his ability.
Well, first of all, I think he's a great player. 2 is that he's going to be a great player in the NFL. I'm just looking for him to be like this guy over here, Dennis Smith. You know, the 2 of us, we played the way that Troy plays the game. Hard, tough, and getting after people.
Did you ever pick off Dan Fouts?
Did you pick off Dan Fouts?
I have. I believe I have. And I sacked him several times.
I never picked him off.
Marcus Allen told me to tell you the Trojans are back.
All right, Keith, back up to you.
Well, Ronnie, he covers the scars well.
Dennis Smith on the left, Ronnie Lott on the right. Dennis played against me of the Denver Broncos. Yes, Dennis, I remember you only too well. What a great player. A couple of great ones.
The Irish failed to convert on that 3rd down. It brings up 4th, and this is number 250 in the career of Joey Hilbold as the Irish punter. He is a senior from Centerville, Virginia. And he's been a good one, averaging better than 40 yards in his career, but this one is not a very good one. And it takes a straight side bounce and has to be covered by one of the Notre Damers at the 37-yard line. That's Pierre Antoine making that catch for it. Antoine, Carlos Pierre Antoine.
See, that's the good news, bad news stat for Hilbold. 250 punts, that's great, but it's also bad for your offense, and it's especially been bad tonight.
45, huh?
0 for 9.
What blows me away about Carlos Pierre Antoine, he's from Everett, Washington.
And Troy Polamalu introduced himself to Joey Hilbold.
Yes, he did. Palmer wanted to go deep. Now throws it. He's got him open. Mike Williams. Palmer floating around, refusing to give up on the play, being tormented by Glenn Earl, and suddenly Mike Williams popped loose and he hit him.
Glenn Earl was blocked by Sultan McCullough while Mike Williams is finding an open spot in the defense. But what more can Carson Palmer do tonight? 28 of 41, 10 yards shy of 400 yards. Mobility, arm strength, leadership. It's all there.
So in a phrase, we consider him the prime Heisman candidate from the West, who has been up to tonight pretty much ignored by a good many in the East.
Not only is he the hottest quarterback in the country, he's the hottest player in the country right now.
Lets it go. That's a bad pass. Really bad pass. That's the second time he's thrown an interception in the end zone tonight. And this one is going to go a long way the other way. And finally brought down at the Southern California 40-yard line. It is Courtney Watson who was standing on the goal line, and suddenly Palmer threw him the ball.
Sometimes you get a little bit carried away with your own success, and that's what happens to Palmer here. Terrible mechanics, terrible decision. Watson right in the middle of the screen, just going to drop straight back and pick off his 4th pass of the year. But watch how Palmer throwing off his back foot, all arm, all bad. So just as we sing his praises, he damns us.
I'm putting my hymn book away. On the 40-yard line, first down for the Irish. Quick touchdown, they're back in the hunt. Carlisle Holiday backing up, way back. Now he escapes. Now he throws, and it's incomplete. I mean, they could have had, there's a penalty flag. You could have had a sack of 30 yards, but he got away.
I'm not sure he threw the ball far enough to keep from getting intentional grounding call, Keith.
May not have.
Disregard the flag. There was an eligible receiver in the area.
Oh, okay.
That's that other stipulation. You can throw it anywhere away as long as there's somebody close by.
You know, it's if you think it's hard to understand the game as you sit and watch it, you ought to try officiating it.
Or announcing it.
Yeah.
You know, Keith, that play there reminded me of Bob Greasy in the Super Bowl against Bob Lilly and the Cowboys. Going back. Luckily for Holiday, it turned out better for him than for the Grease.
Yep. Second down and 10 from the 40 for the Irish. Holiday lets it go, and it is incomplete. Arnaz Battle went as high as he could and couldn't reel it in. And Holiday took a solid whack just as he released the ball.
But again, on the release, that thumb forces this ball to sail, float high. Battle crosses his fingers at the wrong time and drops the ball. Watch the shot that Holiday's going to take from behind by a little tiny cornerback, Darrell Rideaux.
Yeah, he's lucky it was 5'8", 175 pounds, 5'9". Third down and 10. Grace is home tonight. I'll bet you're watching.
He better be.
Well, he might still be traveling. That ball is thrown to Holiday, coming across, trying to set up an inside screen, and doesn't work for much. DeShaun Hill was in and pounded on Carlisle Holiday. Notre Dame has no first downs in the second or third quarters of this ball game, and the third quarter is now over. And the score after 3 is USC 30 and Notre Dame 13. ABC Sports presentation of college football back after this message and a word from our ABC station. To the fourth quarter we go. The Irish on fourth down at the USC 40-yard line. Carlisle Holiday under pressure is sacked at midfield. Holiday is brought down by Matt Rudiger and company. And on fourth down, they go for it, and they lose 10 yards.
Pete Carroll, defensive coordinator and head coach, coming with pressure on 4th and 10. Grudegood totally unblocked one more time as he beats the tight end, former quarterback Gary Godsey, and picks up his 7th sack of the season.
Mike Pollard came right up the middle, Dan, and he got an arm on him as well. Boy, 2 of them got loose unblocked. So here are the Trojans, huh?
That was a great defensive call by Carroll.
First down and 10 from midfield. Palmer gives the ball to Sultan McCullough, who's in at tailback, and he twists and spins, and now here is a penalty flag, and it's thrown by the umpire who was in the middle of the melee.
After the run, dead ball, personal foul, blow to the head on the defense.
Kane Walton got in there and got a piece of him. It looked like somebody whacked him, and that's a personal foul of 15 yards. That moves Southern California well down the field.
SC didn't like getting shut out in that first quarter. It's been a while, all the way back to September when Oregon State shut them out in the first quarter. 20 unanswered points by the Trojans. And if you add these numbers up right here, it comes out to 503 total yards.
Wow. That's a bunch, isn't it? First down at the 32 of Notre Dame. Running the ball. It is Sultan McCullough, slowed down, but again Sultan shows his strength and balance as he gets all the way down to the 20, and another first down. Here's John. That time on the bench served Ricks very well. It's not always a bad thing sometimes to sit and watch a little bit.
Well, it helped Carlisle Holiday when he was injured to watch Pat Dillingham play.
Yep. From the 21-yard line, Southern California threatening again as they go back to McCullough. Remember, these are fresh legs that he brings to the ball game, and the Irish defense have been out there a lot tonight, and they got to be getting tired and frustrated.
Fresh legs and very fast legs. McCullough, member of the USC track team, fastest Trojan to ever play tailback for SC.
Brandon Hancock, who is a freshman from Fresno, has been in there at fullback. He leaves the ball game now. Justin Fargas is on the sidelines. Chad Pearson is the blocking back or the fullback with McCullough at tailback. He's got a good thing going. Run that horse till he gets tired, and McCullough is going to be a little bit short of the first down as Courtney Watson makes the tackle. 13 minutes to go in a ball game. The 74th meeting between these two teams. A series that started back in 1926 when Gwen Wilson went on the train ride with Knute Brockney and finally got him to agree to come play a home and home because the Southern California leadership with 2,000 students needed some money to grow. Notre Dame needed some money to grow, and they have both grown very well, thank you. But their football teams have been very much a part of that growth. Third down and 1.5 yards, and they pound it in the middle, and they're close to it as Carson Palmer stretches out that big old 6'5", 225-pound frame.
And did you see the shot that Courtney Watson put on Jacob Rogers at the end of that play? Watson frustrated that his team is getting beat on the ground now by SC. Just hauled off and nailed Rogers. Watch number 33 right here. Boom. And he doesn't get a flag. And Rogers wants to know, hey, why not?
Well, one more touchdown and a personal foul penalty like that could certainly enable the Trojans march to the end zone here. One more, and the hinges are greased. That thing will slam.
This is a pretty proud defense coming into the game at 10-1. They've given up 524 yards.
McCullough's a tailback, and they've got the first down at the 11-yard line. That's Kareem Kelly going over to join Keary Colbert, and they run Sultan McCullough through that little crack. Touchdown. Walked in. $50-yard, 6 plays, all running plays.
Norm Chow took the air out of the ball after Palmer's last interception, and his offensive line took control with McCullough hitting the right side for the first time.
Killeen for the point. Good. It's now 37-13 ball game with Southern California leading the Irish and just under 12 minutes to play. Well, the ground troops took over for that 50-yard drive, 6 plays. McCullough stuck at the end zone, and now they'll kick it off. It's Arnez Battle and Dwight Ellick deep for Notre Dame. And Killeen gets enough drive to get the ball down to the 3-yard line for Arnez Battle. And Battle, who has been pretty well controlled tonight, comes on out to the 32-yard line, where the Irish will have it, first down. ABC Sports presentation of college will have Carlisle Holiday still in there at quarterback, sore hand and all. And I don't know how sore the hand is, frankly. But it appears to be. That ball is flipped and incomplete at the sideline. And again, the ball seemed to sail as he threw it for Arnez Battle. Tomorrow, Tiger Woods 50. Freddie got his skin early, I reckon. It's second down and 10. Fred's made more money, I think, playing in November and December than any man alive. Holiday's pass is thrown short down the middle, and it goes to his tailback out of the backfield, but immediate tackle by Melvin Simmons, who is a linebacker for the Trojans.
Last year against Stanford, Carlisle Holiday had a horrible afternoon, completing 1 of 16. He's now 7 of 21 with a bad thumb. Finds his outlet receiver right over the middle, but see, there's no zip on the ball. He's barely able to even grip it. Ball just floated to Powers Neal over the middle.
It is third down and 6. They have 2 first downs in the ball game tonight. Up the middle comes the pressure. Pass is incomplete. And Omar Jenkins got a pretty good dose of Omar Nazel there.
Yeah, Omar Nazel's a defensive end who dropped back into pass coverage on this play. Polamalu comes on the blitz 43. The ball thrown behind Jenkins. And there's Omar Nazel, 56, closing and making the big hit.
And at 10:53, it'll be the 8th punt of the night for Joey Hillbold, and waiting for it is Grieg Carlson back at his 25-yard line. Pretty good kick right to it. At the 23, he starts going to the outside. Whoa, one man, and that one man got him at the Notre Dame 48-yard line. It was the punter, Joey Hillbold, who lifted him up and took him down. This schedule strength has big meaning at the end of the season and these final weeks of the BCS, and you can see that the Southern California schedule strength is considerable. 657. That's ranked number 1. Number 1.
And this win tonight will help him even more.
Hits that ball back, go right, come back left. Justin Fargas pounding away, and they finally get him on the ground down around the 34-yard line, and that's the first down.
And a late flag. Yeah. The monkey business at the bottom of that pile on Justin Fargas.
Ryan Roberts with the tackle.
Uncharacteristic now for Notre Dame to unravel as they are.
Disregard that flag. There was no foul.
Well, then what's it doing on the ground?
They've had 2 disregard the flag calls tonight. That's an NCAA record. Fargas with good yardage against that left side of the right side, rather, of Notre Dame's defense, the SC left side.
And the first down puts them at the Irish 34-yard line with 10:15 to play in the ball game. And now it's Malafeou MacKenzie in there as the tailback. Well, Malafeu's going back in the final game of the season to where he started in the first game at tailback. And he'll pick up a couple of yards. Monday night, the postseason hopes of the Jets. Al Michaels and John Madden and company will be in Oakland. Boy, Kelly Hayes and Mark Amino, you've had 2 easy weeks of traveling, haven't you? Will you quit whining now and enjoy yourself?
Professional whiners.
Mike Williams down to the 15-yard line. Kelly was out running around midst the vineyards this morning, right? Oh, yeah. Well, there were thunderstorms on the horizon. It's been a bumptious day of 2 days of weather here in Southern California. We had a huge cloud just kind of hanging on the rim of the Coliseum for a long time, but we have had no rain.
It's been a good night weather-wise and a good night Trojan-wise. 10 catches now for Mike Williams. That was the first pass in the last 9 plays for SC. Trying to work on that clock.
First down on the 15-yard line, and the clock shows just over 9 minutes to play in the game. That's Kareem Kelly. And Palmer gives the ball to MacKenzie, and Malafeou MacKenzie eluded that first man. That was Watson. He got away from him and got it down to the 10-yard line. So that's a pickup of 5 for MacKenzie. Herschel Dennis, since he fumbled that ball on that kickoff return, I don't know if he's going to see the field it up.
Well, when you've got 3 seniors, MacKenzie, McCullough, and Fargas, and this is the last time they're going to be playing in this wonderful auditorium, this historic arena, these are the guys, and not this young man. He'll have his chance later.
Yeah, he will very much be in the picture come springtime. Fargas is the deep back. He gets it. And Justin Fargas will only get across the 10, maybe the 9-yard line.
Carson Palmer has another record to add to his trophy case, if you will. Got 408 yards passing tonight and 11,297 yards of total offense, a Pac-10 record. And that beats the record of Cade McNown.
How heavy is that football?
Not very.
Third down and 5. And it's a rainbow to and it's a touchdown. He waited, he waited, he waited, he waited.
Well, he was messing around with the ball, wasn't he? Just twirling it around like it was a baton. Hard toss by Palmer. Ball goes up in the air, and now it's the baton twirler. Another great move by MacKenzie, and another touchdown for SC.
The point try here by Killeen is down the highway. And so you've now got a 44-13 ball game. Southern California have put this one away at 7:23 to play in the ball game. The drums are pounding. Carson Palmer whips it out. Malafeou MacKenzie. I thought for sure the ball was going to be dropped right there, but he kept it on his fingers ever so gently, and then tiptoed into the end zone.
Great concentration.
Here's the kickoff to the 9-yard line, where it's taken by Arnaz Battle. And Battle, who started his career at Notre Dame, is taken down at the 26-yard line. A moment now with Todd Harris.
All right, Keith. Keith, we've had some great rivalries this year. They're battling for the Old Oaken Bucket at Keg and Nails, the Victory Bell. Well, in this battle, it's the shillelagh. Now, this is actually the shillelagh, too. It's made of blackthorn saplings from Ireland, and every year it gets a new adornment. If the Trojans win, it's a Trojan head with that. If the Irish win, they get a leprechaun or a four-leaf clover. Now, they say they use blackthorn because it's the only thing that's as hard as an Irishman's head. And I'm going to throw it back to Keith Jackson, but I'm not attaching anything to that, Keith.
Yeah, fine. We'll see how many fingers you have when you open the car door the next time. The ball is thrown to the sidelines, and he's on the chalk at the 35-yard line. Rima McKnight. That shillelagh, too, was donated by Jim Gillis, who played baseball at Notre Dame and lives here in Los Angeles.
Notre Dame gained 9 yards on that pass to McKnight, Keith. But it's been the SC defense that is responsible for these plays.
That was the sharpest pass that he's thrown in a while. You know what? He had some spin and bite on it. He's got some room in front of him. He might be tempted here. Now he's going to go on out of bounds and pick up his first down. Not risking his body at the pursuing Trojans.
It was about a week ago that they made their last first down. That's 3 now for the Irish. 2 first downs in the first quarter, and now Holiday picks up their 3rd.
You've got just under 7 minutes to play in the ball game. This ball game, I think, as much as anything, was decided in the trenches by the USC defensive front. They just didn't give him any room. That ball is thrown sharply again right into the arms of the receiver at the 45-yard line. And whether they're going to give him a possession or not. No, I guess not. They wave it off, so you didn't keep control of it.
Now, any quarterback knows there are going to be days like this one. Carlisle Holiday suffered a very painful injury to his right thumbnail when it was peeled back, and that was in the first quarter, and that has affected his play, but so has the 18 hits, the 10 knockdowns, the sacks, the interceptions. You can see all the blood down that side of that right leg.
Second down and 10. Incomplete. Tangled up, 4 of them over there in the same spot. Jared Clark couldn't get to the ball and make the catch. First season with Tyrone Willingham and Joe Dietrich and Kent Baer and all of the staff that have come there. It's been a remarkable story in college football, what they have done there. And as Arnaz Battle said yesterday, we were a group of people waiting for leadership and discipline. And Willingham and company brought it. And they will be reckoned with again next year because many of them return. Third down and 10, including Holiday. Overthrown. You're one of the better quarterbacks to have played this game. Why is that ball sailing so much on him like that? Is it the thumb, you think?
There's no question, Keith. A lot of the red on his pants is from the number of times he's been knocked down on the field where there's red paint. But he has been bleeding on that right thumb. And when the ball sails, that's a clear indication that it's just not strong enough. It's too painful for him to grip the ball tight enough to throw that hard, tight spiral you got to throw.
Hillbold back into punt. This is number 9. Grieg Carlson is waiting. Had a big run, big return the last time. They kick it away from him this time, and he watches it go out of bounds up around the 25-yard line. So at 6:34 to play in the ball game, we'll take a timeout.
Pete Carroll may get another ride on the
I would think so.
Shoulders of his mate.
But I think the Notre Dame defense just wore out. I mean, they've been out there a lot longer than they anticipated. That ball is thrown very quickly over to Kareem Kelly. Kelly's streak of catching at least one pass in games continues. and he may, by the time he finishes his bowl season, that he will have the record. But it could be broken by the likes of others who are coming in his wake. That's 200 career receptions now for Kareem Kelly. 200. It is 2nd down and 5. Justin Fargas, the tailback. Palmer gives it to him. And Justin runs into some angry Irishmen over there and stops in a hurry. Justin tucked in Shane Walton. Time permitting, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report featuring scores and highlights from around the country with John and Terry.
They're staying up late tonight, aren't they?
Yep, they're well paid.
3rd and 4 from the 31.
31-yard line. 3rd down, 4. Palmer throws it to Kelly, and Kelly's in traffic, and he's going to come up short of his 1st down, and so the Trojans will have to punt this one away. Kelly now with 201 career receptions. That ties Johnny Morton's career record for receptions at USC. So at 5:20 to play in the game, Kelly may set a new school record. Johnny Morton, I remember him. Boy, he was pretty good.
Lightning.
On 4th down and 2, they'll punt it away with Tom Malone. Tom hasn't done a whole lot of work tonight. Sort of an end-over-end thing, going down the field and rolling around inside the 25 and down to the 23-yard line. Let's go back in time for one of the many moments in this game where things happened when you didn't expect them. Notre Dame came out with Dan Devine as the head coach. They warmed up in their blue jerseys, but when they came out of the tunnel to play the game, they were wearing green. And they just turned USC upside down that October 22nd back in 1977, winning 49-19.
Yeah, I think their quarterback might have had something to do with that 49 too. That guy named Joe Montana.
Well, maybe. I mean, they wore the jerseys the rest of the season and beat Texas 38-10 in the Cotton Bowl. Well, I would say that was Cotton Bowl's where Joe almost froze to death. Remember?
That's where the legend began for Joe Montana.
That's right. It was so cold, and they had kept drinking hot soup. Pulled one out. It was against Houston, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was unseasonably cold. Battling the flu, leading the Trojans. Or leading the Irish, rather.
Yeah. 2nd down and 10 for Notre Dame. They trail 44-13. The outcome of the game is no longer in doubt at 4:10 to play. Carlisle Holiday gets his pass away and diving attempt at it, and they'll give him the catch, it looks like, up around the 34-yard line. That'll be Rima McKnight, the freshman from La Palma, California.
McKnight, one of the 2 freshman receivers for Notre Dame, the other one being Maurice Stovall.
Southern California now, when this is done, just simply will be sort of in the same fix that Iowa's in, where you got to sit and wait. Because Washington State's game against UCLA next Saturday at the Rose Bowl will say something about who plays in the Rose Bowl representing the Pac-10 conference. That play is taken down at the 30-yard line. Troy Polamalu getting that tackle on Rashawn Powers-Neal. If Washington State wins, they go to the Rose Bowl. Then what happens to the Trojans? What happens to the Trojans?
Is 44-13 good enough to get them in one of the BCS games?
I cannot answer your question. I don't know.
It should be.
It should be is correct. That's a sack back on the 20-yard line. Polamalu stepping up one more time.
A finalist for the Thorpe Trophy as best defensive back in the nation.
He plays up where the big boys are more than he plays back there with those pitch and catcher guys. He comes in where they roll around in the mud and the blood and hangs it out with the big fellas.
Yeah, he's only
a tough guy.
Yeah, 5'10", 215, but he makes that presence felt.
It'll be 3rd down and 22 now for Notre Dame. Out of the shotgun for Holiday. Now he throws it, and it's picked. Mike Pollard, the middle linebacker.
Mike Pollard.
The senior from Long Beach comes out of there with it.
With the interception.
There was nobody, and Carlisle looked and looked and looked, and finally he saw a white shirt and tried to get it down the middle, and Pollard, middle linebacker, who dropped off.
Yeah, everything Pete Carroll's dialing up on defense tonight has worked. Pollard with his first interception of the season. Couldn't have come at a better time for the senior. Just reading the coverage, watching the quarterback trying to sneak one into Stovall, and he steps in front for the pick.
And now Herschel Dennis. He of the fumble on the kickoff is in the ball game. And you got a penalty flag from that same
Illegal substitution, breaking the huddle with 12.
the side back on the other side.
5-yard penalty.
So the
Still
Trojans
first down.
break the huddle with 12 people on the field, and that's again the law. Long night for Carlisle Holiday and his offensive teammates. The attendance sold out, 87,471. And a third of them were on the highway already. And it's Dennis getting the ball and getting a taste of a Notre Dame USC football game.
Keith, back in the first quarter, we said that SC, in order to win, be successful tonight, had to follow Carson Palmer on offense. 425 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Then defensively shut down Battle, Knight, and Holiday. They did that. In fact, Holiday suffered through a most miserable evening with the 3 interceptions.
Palmer's out of the ball game. Matt Castle comes in to replace him at quarterback. Palmer's 425 passing yards is an Irish opponent record. They run it, just roll the clock. Not much on that one. It's back in 1988.
How about the quarterback? Excuse me, Keith, but Carson Palmer just got the Gatorade.
He got the Gator bath, did he?
Yes, he did. But it shows you how smart he is. Kept his helmet on. Didn't get his hair wet. Make Kelly Hayes proud.
Be a bit of a sticky wicket, though, until he gets to the shower. Running it again with Herschel Dennis. And he's one of the tailbacks of the future for the Trojans. They stopped him just short of the 35-yard line. Today's Chevrolet players of the game are Carlos Pierre Antoine of Notre Dame, who blocked the punt and scored the touchdown, and Carson Palmer of USC, who closes out his career at home with a night of 32 out of 46 attempts, 425 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a couple of interceptions. Every time we started praising him for the Heisman, he threw an interception.
He had a good night.
He did, for a fact. 3rd down. They keep running it, and Dennis bouncing outside threatens to pop one, but he's going to be a yard short of the 1st down. We're now inside 30 seconds to go in the ball game. Keith Jackson along with Dan Fouts and Todd Harris. We hope you've enjoyed the ball game. We've enjoyed being with you, and there will be other Notre Dame USC ball games that will ring and echo across college football history, I'm sure. But it was a big night tonight for Pete Carroll and his Trojans. .610 yards of offense for USC in the ball game tonight against a team that overall was ranked 5th in overall defense. That is obviously an Irish opponent's record. So once again, our final score, Southern California 44 and Notre Dame 13. ABC ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com, keyword ABC Sports. Don't forget Monday night, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, the New York Jets and the Raiders in Oakland.